nothing. All right, welcome to Open Comms. Welcome to Friday. You saw nothing.
Just a little something, something. Oh, you got to fix the cams because we.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but I did it mid-intro, so it's fine. It's fine with the up next thing, but with the intro running, it's like
the
intro's
you got
not running.
That all on the same scene.
All right. Why is it my camera?
Don't worry,
feel
friends.
laggy
We
now?
are professionals.
Oh no, we have never claimed to be professionals on this show. Not seriously.
Professional amateurs.
Yeah, that's better than what I was gonna say. Thank you, Skyhawk.
I like the term journeyman because it sounds like you're on a cool journey.
Journeyman.
It was a job title once.
Yeah, I mean that's the reference, but like, you know, it just sounds like you're on a cool journey.
Are you just like a professional wanderer? Like you just
Dude, like talk about a D&D backstory.
look at that tree. Look at that tree over there. What are you doing? That's my job. I'm a journeyman. Look, a rock.
It's like a more fun way to say like adventure, maybe.
Yeah.
In my alternate
it's like there's you're not when an adventurer grows up, he becomes a journeyman. Or they, a journey woman, journey person. We really should be saying journey person.
It doesn't have nearly as much ring.
It doesn't, but we have to be PC.
That's fair.
It's also a skill level.
I mean, do we?
It is.
Do we?
No, I didn't.
Have
No,
we
honestly,
ever?
we do not.
We don't have to be, but
I think
we should.
I don't want to say that you guys have ever been PC. I think this is a tolerant show, and I think that's the good thing to
we've been trying to be better.
All right, I gotta wrap up these creme brulees, put them in the fridge. I'll be back in like.
Drayden, go take care of your creme brulees, man.
I gotta take care of them.
We'll hold the fort down.
They should have been done 20 minutes ago, but they weren't thick enough, so I had to leave
Hey,
them in the oven longer. All right,
hurry! They're gonna be ruined.
Wasn't thick enough, kids. Wait, doesn't the top just go kind of brown when it, kind of burns up? Well,
Hey, you're supposed to burn the creme brulee.
But just the top.
You have to.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Open
you have to
Comms,
do-
where EVE Online discussion comes to die. It's Friday night, July 8th, in the year of our Lord 2022. LB is right above me. I guess I was going to say I'm the host, but LB has more seniority than me. So LB's the host. I'm just doing the intro, apparently. Welcome to the show.
Oh, my God. It's my time to shine. We're going to talk
Do
about
it.
Eve the
Do
whole
it.
fucking night.
The whole night. We're not going to get sidetracked.
Nope.
We're not going to talk about rain drinking turds.
Not a bit.
She's not here.
Speaking of which, I got to post that GIF in chat.
Ooh, yes.
Can we do an opening shot to welcome in LB back then?
Yeah.
The show?
Yeah, I'll do. Fuck yeah. That's a hell of an opening shot. Welcome back, LB.
You were definitely missed,
Hey.
LB.
Thanks. I was missing for 2 weeks, so here I'm back.
Did you know where you were?
I wasn't missing.
I was gonna
Like,
say,
there
did you
wasn't,
get
like, a
lost?
search party out or anything? Like I just wasn't here. That's all.
He was just being a journeyman.
He's being a journeyman.
Also, good evening, Darwin. Always see you in chat and everybody else that's shown up.
CCP Darwin in the house.
Court-appointed Dev.
Jesus Christ.
Staying up super late as always, like a champ.
Yeah.
I assume it isn't it super late there right now?
Yeah, it is. And like
It's
Darwin
1 in the morning there right now.
and he's got a
And
kid.
it
He's
doesn't
got
burn
2
off
kids.
right away. He stays up.
Darwin, go take care of your children, please.
sure.
He's got the
they're
night
so
shift.
hungry.
It is Friday night there too, right? Or Friday morning, obviously, or Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying? Though. It's his Friday night, right?
It's Friday or Saturday, Sunday. How does
You know what I'm saying? He's enjoying a Friday night. in a similar
When
manner.
is Iceland? When are they?
I
It's the
still
weekend.
consider it the last night until I go to bed. So,
Rain, I posted your GIF, and here you are. I summoned you with your turd drinking GIF.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
Too late.
No, we will talk more about rain drinking turds after the Eve stuff, after the actual show. We should do a show.
Should we start with an actual thing to do an opening shot to? Did you see Rick's Javix tweet?
Oh yeah, Rick's Javix.
He got not what is he? He's a licensed partner? Is that what it is?
He got cease and desisted.
Yeah, so they used to send Rick's Javik a weekly cease and desist letter.
Whenever Rick's would put pen to paper, CCP's legal team, Rick's.
He had a court-appointed dev that would just sit outside his office window, stare in. see
Yeah,
what he was
probably.
drawing. Tap
What
on
you
the
working
glass.
on today, Ricks?
No,
Ricks.
Ricks in the garbage. You know where it goes.
He's got a very long ruler, and he reaches into the window and slaps the pen out of Ricks's hand.
Very Catholic school nun.
Yeah, totally. I can see it.
Do you guys remember from Jurassic Park where he's like,
Yeah.
not their
He
parents?
didn't say the magic word. Yeah.
So
now
what
actually he's extremely pleased to announce that was once an April Fool's joke is now real. He's officially an unofficially licensed partner with CCP Games, and his new store will be opening next week, where you can buy all of your officially licensed Eve merch and art from Rick Jacks. There you go.
That's awesome.
And I noticed that the post itself. I noticed the post itself was that like one of the first ones he did, if I recall, with the 4 battle cruiser setup.
Yeah.
You could get each individually, but he kind of posted it as like a pain. And like, it's just like, I don't know if you have any appreciation for like design, and like I'm ignorant of it, but I have appreciation for it. Like, it's real choice.
Yeah, I got a set. I got the battle cruiser set in
let's
Vegas.
have a drink for Rick's.
Shots to Rick.
Newfound riches. Good
his newfound relationship with CCP.
I wonder if he's got to give him a cut.
Oh, Rick's?
I imagine.
I'm sure. Yeah, they're
See,
probably
It's
licensing.
licensed, right?
They're licensing the IP for him to use it in this specific way, so they get a cut. Yeah, for sure.
I will say, and I'm gonna merge this shot into the shot. I've made this shot before, I'm sure, in the past, but like their outreach to player community in the last couple of years and getting them more involved, hiring a few more of them, things like that. I know they've always hired, community members, but I feel like they've been leaning into it a little bit more in the last couple of years, and it's been really fun stuff.
I mean, it's good return on investment, right?
Sure.
Because the cost to them is fucking zero.
Right. Exactly right. And happily, some friggin' lawyer who's been writing this guy angry letters for so long was like, "Hey, we'd probably just make a little money if you guys want to just go that route."
It'd be cheaper if we just let him do this instead of having Better Call Saul on the line every 15 minutes.
The lawyer looks at Hilmar and he's like, "I'm tired, boss."
Don't make
I'm
me do
tired,
it again.
Grandpa. That's too damn bad.
And now they're going to save all that money on all that paper.
And they use the paper to make the posters.
Nice. It's all full
Oh
circle.
God, that would be so funny. On the
beautiful-
reverse side of the posters should be a copy of the cease and desist letters that Ricks would get. That would be so fucking good.
I think with his shipments, he should send like a, hey, thanks for being one of the, like maybe for the first 100 or something, just be like, hey, thanks for, supporting the art and blah, 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 blah. And if you flip it, the backside being maybe not the physical ones if he wants to hold on to those for his own sake, but like maybe just a copy of all the different cease and desists. I think he could do something real fun with it for sure.
Yeah, Darwin mentioned rightfully so in chat. The CCP's legal department, they're just doing their jobs. They have a job to do to protect their intellectual property, and cease and desists are part of that. So it's not like they were like actively out targeting Ricks to, specifically.
Sure. They were doing what companies got to do.
It's not that. They're just doing what legal departments do, and it's fine. We're just having some fun.
Protecting the lawyers. Oh, the poor lawyers.
Listen, guys, listen. Come on, leave
bastards.
the lawyers alone, okay? Please.
They've suffered enough.
And the billionaires. Can you guys
None of them
please
are going
stop
to
being
heaven,
mean
let's be
to
honest.
billionaires?
No,
Billionaires
Bezos has feelings.
They're human,
There we go.
and they deserve our undying respect and gratitude for all that they bring to the world. So
Think about all those jobs they create with their own 2 hands.
yeah, where would we be today if not for Jeff Bezos? Cheers,
Yeah.
right? Am I right? Shots.
Just
I mean,
Jeff
Amazon
Bezos,
Prime is
like
great.
I've never used Amazon Prime in my
I
life.
did order a
Only
gardening
used
tool.
Amazon probably 10 years ago.
I ordered a gardening tool and I got same day shipping on Amazon. It was pretty fucking nice. I'm not gonna lie.
a little
I
bummed
finally
That's how
out.
they're
came
taking
in a
over,
couple-
boys.
During the
ordered-
That was
pandemic,
in
I finally
Latvia.
gave up.
Let's all stop talking over each other.
There we go, Latvia.
When I was in Latvia, you could get stuff delivered to you through Amazon.de, which is the German
Denmark.
Amazon.
Denmark, yeah.
And you were maybe Denmark, yeah.
No,
and
D
they
is Germany.
specifically-
Deutschland.
Yeah,
Deutschland.
I thought, right?
Oh.
It's
But they
D for Germany.
specifically told you not to use Amazon.ru because then your credit card would disappear.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
probably
wow.
they probably like force it into like ruble transactions and then convert it.
Your money would be gone. You would not get the product that you paid for.
Yeah.
Did
I was
Amazon
a little
not have
bummed
a
out.
real presence in Russia? Have they not developed there?
I think they have one, but I think
Maybe it's just sketchy still.
probably a better idea not to order your your beard oil from the enemy. Just I don't know.
That's fair. I mean,
They'll
he's
tamper with
creating
it.
jobs for those people too with his own like.
Like you,
This will ruin the morale of the enemy troops if we fuck with their beard oil.
It will.
they,
like a
they gave us tainted beard oil.
Oh, no.
Sarge,
They
what do
have
we
a
do?
big- they have a big
Stand
cyber-
down, end the sanctions.
Stand down, retreat. The beard
Pack it
oil
up,
has
boys.
gone bad.
The,
Actually, I
It smells
just checked
nothing
it.
like sandalwood. Pack it up. We're out.
oh man.
Makes
They
sense. with
sent
what's
us
happened.
lavender.
I was about the so last
can
weekend. That
whip
was the
this?
first time I've ever had an issue with an Amazon order not arrive on time. It was weird. I ordered a salt and pepper mill for my place, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy regular salt and pepper because I have
Fuck all
a
that.
thing of peppercorns and big old sea salt chunks. I'll just
Yeah.
get my salt and pepper mill. Didn't come, so I had to go through all last weekend. I think I explained this last week actually, and I
don't recall.
maybe I didn't. So, but I needed to make like chili for the weekend barbecue. And so I was sitting there, I was like, I need salt and pepper. The salt will just dissolve in there, so I didn't care about that. But the pepper, I had a hammer in my junk drawer, so I was literally just like smashing not like hammering them, but I was like smashing the peppercorns on a cutting board
Using it as like a mortar
with a hammer,
mortar
and
pestle.
then I used a knife to fine chop them down further. I was like, I
Did you
didn't think I'd
clean
ever...
your hammer? It probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, I did, but it's like I was like, I didn't think I'd ever be like hand chopping pepper to put in stuff.
You sure manned it up.
Yeah, but
Fucking
now
hammer.
I have them, so I can salt and pepper things properly.
You solved your problem like an adult.
Hell yeah!
Good job.
Just waited for it to sort itself out.
Waited for the problem to go away.
There's a lot of adults who do that, so sure.
There's a devlog came out.
Oh,
What qu'est-ce que c'est?
Pray
It's
tell.
just
Qu'est-ce que c'est devblog?
We got
building
a
the future
road-
of Eve is what the devlog is called. I'll get you a link.
We got a roadmap for kind of what's going to be happening in July.
Okay.
Yep. So they talk about the DirectX 12. Have you guys had any issues with DirectX 12?
Oh, the DirectX 12. I've noticed a lot of like stutter stopping, in the frame rates. It's like sometimes it'll be super smooth, but something will happen and it'll like, and then it'll pick right back up again. So I've found disabling DirectX 12 eliminates all problems that I've had.
It sounds like that's kind of a widespread approach too. I don't know if it's like hardware limitations. Maybe DirectX 12 like really shines if you're on like super high end hardware or something. But there definitely has been a little bit of like hang ups or whatever, where it just kind of catches for a little.
So
Well, I
running
happen to have high-end hardware, and
You're noticing
I
that
have
too.
a
Could
couple
be a
of
level
issues.
and detail related issue.
Darwin's saying report that shit in game. Bug report it.
Okay.
I was going to create a Reddit thread. I thought
No,
that
I haven't had
I'm
any
just gonna
issues with.
unsubscribe and just like
I'm just gonna complain about it on Twitter.
He said,
until
"You
it
know what?
gets
I'm fucking done."
Okay, seriously, submit bug reports.
The only time that I've run into issues with DX12 is if I'm running all of my accounts out in space doing something. If it's just a couple, I haven't had issues, and I'm running a 2080 RTX.
Well, look at you, aren't you fancy?
Still on a 1080.
I don't know. For me, at least, I think a lot of it is probably hardware related limitations potentially.
maybe it's my AMD card.
Don't you say that. It's good, honest.
I mean, I'm not
company.
switching. I'll just stop playing this game. That's all.
Oof.
Can I? No.
No.
Let's continue. I wanted to be a nitpicky asshole, but I've thought better of it.
I mean, we got time.
We're only 18 minutes in.
Yeah, we got time for all the nitpicking.
We're still on the east
Okay,
I
side.
got three more
this
tabs open,
is
so
all
we
I'm
have
going to
lots
say.
of
This is
time.
all I'm going to say. This devlog that we're talking about, this opening paragraph is word salad, and it's a slog to get through. I don't know what being at the edge of visceral supremacy means. Oh wait, no wait. Through this, we can achieve our goal of visceral. What is visceral supremacy? Can somebody explain what is visceral supremacy?
Hey Google,
Only we had
what
access
is
to some
visceral
sort of database.
deployments? What? Don't look that up.
See,
Google,
you can't
please
even
stop.
say it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, those two words don't really go together like that.
We
normally.
can
I-
achieve our goal of visceral supremacy.
I was thinking displacency, and I just said something, and then she
So,
thought I asked what is
visceral,
visceral. What is a
like
visceral dance playlist?
Visceral, I think.
Two-
Doesn't that mean it's like
Two meanings to it.
Don't
One is relating to the viscera, so the visceral
nervous
system. Which really
system.
doesn't- yeah. And the other one is relating to deep inward feelings rather than to the intellect. So they're saying that
so appealing to emotion rather than logic?
I think
Yeah.
that paragraph was probably mostly written by someone who's not a native English speaker, and something
It's-
got lost in translation.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just the phrase visceral supremacy stuck out to me, and I wanted to bring it up, but we don't have to talk about it. It's such a stupid nitpicky thing, and we can move
you know
on.
what
I just
happens to
wanted
me sometimes when I'm typing things up? I'll just start mashing the keyboard, and what I mean to say, not with a fist, but with like fingers, like dainty little fingers. Anyways,
Okay.
And I'll misspell something so terribly that when I right click it to go to the spell check, it'll select a word that I absolutely do not mean to have in there. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was supposed to be visual supremacy, and whoever was typing it in just fucking mashed that keyboard of that particular word, and when they right clicked it and hit the correct, what they thought was the correct word, they picked.
I can
This
kind of
way.
see it with the rest
Maybe.
of the sentence. Like remaining committed to make Eve the most beautiful immersive sci-fi game ever made. Visual supremacy, I could see in that sentence.
Yeah.
Visceral
Dark
supremacy
comment
sounds a
about
little like
Nicole.
culty.
I just
Yeah.
like I don't know. I've been following Eve for many years. I have never ever heard anyone from CCP use the phrase like achieve our goal of visceral supremacy. I've
Oh, no,
never
so-
heard that. It's
So
stuck out.
Darwin,
New
Darwin
World
was
Order.
going into, so Darwin said
We
there was
don't
a
we don't
joke-
need to linger on it.
Well, I
Okay,
was
hold
saying-
on.
He-
Darwin
yeah,
says so.
it's
There
an
was a
in-house
huge joke in house about vertical supremacy, where someone did a remix of CCP Burger and CCP Hilmar saying the words to each other. I think someone thought it sounded kind of cool and went visceral with it. Okay. So
But then he explains further on that he was mistaken.
he was mistaken.
not what it is.
So is it? Oh, so maybe it's like
Vertical
the phrase
supremacy.
visceral supremacy is difficult for the Icelandic palate to say. I don't know. It seemed like a weird phrasing. That's all. I just wanted to bring it up and see what you guys thought. We can move on.
No, let's
Just-
draw this out for another 30, 40 minutes.
Just
Word
chewing the fat,
salad.
man.
And then
We
we'll
can
talk
squeeze a
about
lot out of
Vegas,
this one.
and then we'll get to the after show.
Right, then we'll talk about people drinking shit. Perfect.
You did watch last week's show.
You got to say
No,
turd.
he's-
It's
he's already
funnier
hinted at it
saying
a couple
drinking turds. Drinking
Yeah,
shit
drinking
sounds
turds.
gross, but drinking turds sounds funny.
It
Oh,
sounds
sounds
childish
fancy.
and
Yeah.
fun.
Sounds way much,
Brain has a
way
couple
much,
already.
way much better.
All right, so they're talking about DirectX 12. They're talking about ray tracing. Are we getting ray tracing?
Eventually, yeah, it sounds, which is kind of
Well, no,
I hope.
I don't want it.
I want it.
ray tracing.
Yes.
I mean, if your
I mean,
system can handle it, I would.
I know what
want
it is. I'm just trying
If
to.
I turned ray tracing on my computer, it'd probably just explode.
Does
but-
Eve need ray tracing?
You'd have
I
to
don't think
actually
so.
not be zoomed out all the way for it
Like,
to mean
yeah,
anything.
Well,
would it
that's
would it
what
be
a lot of
worth it
the-
for Eve to have ray tracing?
But I mean, if you're going with the whole, but if I'm all the way zoomed out, then there would be no need to ever redo the graphics on
When you
ships.
can use the fleet
Like,
mode where you can turn off
there
all the
wouldn't be
graphics or
skins
whatever.
wouldn't exist except for capitals only, and they would still be using the same models for ships that they used back in like 2003. Because why would you upgrade a model if no one can see it? But people do fly zoomed in. Not everyone flies zoomed out. I rarely fly zoomed out.
Yeah, but you only run one account for the most part.
I do. And I don't FC or go solo PvP,
Right.
so I'm basically being told what to do, and all that can be managed in the overview and the broadcast window, so I don't
Sure.
need to see what's happening.
That's fair. That's the funny like dichotomy of youth players, right? It's like
Yeah.
half of them could still appreciate that there was graphics changes, but they're like, well, I'm super zoomed out.
Fucking
Like,
man,
I'm only
I
gonna
mean,
use
I will
nebulas
zoom
and
out
stuff.
for tactical stuff, but I will zoom out for tactical things. But if it's like, okay, I saw the lay of the land, I see what's kind of going on, back to zooming in.
Yeah, half the game plays like red triangles versus purple triangles, and the other half plays super zoomed in, so you can see all the things.
It also like
I
helps
do all
with
of
the
the
little
above,
things.
though.
It helps with a few things where if you see like, well, I'm not the primary, but I'm taking damage from something, just light damage. If
Yeah.
you're zoomed in, you can be like, oh, there's this one. I see it. It's like a little, like some artillery shells coming in once in a while. It's like there's one fucking random jackass out there just shooting just my ship, not whatever. Like that dude up there is the primary. I'm taking shots from this one other guy. Whatever.
Sometimes I die from being too zoomed in because I'll just be like looking at my ship, being like, "Wow, this is so cool," and then I'll start taking huge damage. And by the time I zoom out, I'll realize that I've stopped being anchored up, and I'm just like,
Yep.
I'm in a very wrong spot, and now I'm dead.
Or the fact that you can't see how many people are like yellow boxing you at once when you're
Yeah.
super zoomed in.
Yeah, that could be making sure you're still anchored. Like, although I just
That's a
make
good
sure I look at above my capacitor just to see, like, because it'll say following or orbiting this ship name.
Yeah, but I'm a
And
mouth
so-
breather, and I can't barely read that anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have your
So
display set to like 8K?
Darwin says ray tracing would allow things like lights on ships to illuminate objects next to them in space,
Ooh.
which could look cool. I don't disagree with that.
Is
Also
ray
shit.
tracing an NVIDIA exclusive technology, or can I use it?
think
on-
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's just.
They were
I
the
do know
first.
you need-
They were the
But
first.
now that you mention it, whenever I hear ray tracing, it's always about NVIDIA graphics cards.
It's
And
and
they have a
so
huge market share.
Nvidia was the first to come out with that at like the consumer level on hardware. So that's why they've got just a huge amount of market share. I think AMD
Darwin's
does
yelling
have
at
them
him.
now.
Oh.
I think
what- that's what
I
I'm
think
seeing in
somebody
chat.
made Darwin mad.
Two
think he's
people
a-
have said no. So
I think they're agreeing that
Calm
it's not proprietary or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Similarly, like how they have G-Sync and FreeSync
What?
Yeah.
Ray tracing
Except
how
FreeSync
ours
is like-
still up.
can work with both, and G-Sync is only for NVIDIA or something like that. They like handicapped theirs.
I'm not reading that. There's probably way too many words in that link.
Ray tracing was how
Yeah,
artists
they
still work.
they both do have. So in 2021, AMD did come out with ray tracing. It was before that. But Nvidia just beat them to market essentially.
I mean, it's basically just it essentially like finds where a source of light is and then traces out from that
So-
to all the other objects to see where the light would actually strike or something like that.
Correct.
the
it
way-
uses raycasting, but it is very computationally expensive to do it in software.
Yeah, like the way traditionally, or with for light that's not like done via ray tracing, there's a lot of assumptions that get made just like in the code, and it works. It works very differently. Whereas ray tracing literally like traces the path that a photon would travel, essentially.
Darwin, thank you for this article. Was it Darwin that linked this?
Yeah.
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 This actually looks like a really fascinating article. I am saving this for
So
later.
if it does
Thank
the
you.
photon thing, if you had ray tracing and had a wall with 2 slits in it,
Oh God.
We're doing the slit experiment in a digital world.
hell yeah.
I don't think light obeys physics
God damn it.
in computers the way it does in the real world, Drayden.
Program it to.
We can fake it. In a computer simulation, we can fake the way light works in the real world. But
Darwin
we can't
allows it, therefore it's allowed.
we can't generate, particles and what I mean is when we cast a beam of light in a video game, that light is not particles. That light is fake light. It's not generating energy, okay?
It's
Do you
an
guys realize that
equation.
it's important to me that people know this.
It's an
Yeah,
equation.
those are pixel
when they
particles,
play
and they're as real
Half-Life-
as you or I.
You know, when you play Half-Life and you click your flashlight on and off, you're not actually generating real light. You know that, right?
Wait, you're
But I
telling
am-
me that
I-
flashlights
No.
and games are
Aren't you, though?
bullshit?
Doesn't light come out of the screen that I'm watching?
Yeah.
That's exactly
but,
right.
but you're not.
Then I'm
I have
generating
a-
light.
Boom.
Bam, checkmate, atheists.
I have a page up on my secondary monitor that's like post-it yellow, and I use it as a secondary light to light up my face. And it's fake light, but it dealt. You know.
What I
But if it lights
what
your
I
face, how is that fake?
It's not fake.
Right.
It's real.
It's right.
real light.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna hurt all of you. Don't come.
But wait, what if does it go the other way? Like, what if I shine a light at the screen? Does that light become part of the game? Does that become part of the game, and I can then illuminate ships from my seat? Or
the characters turn around because the camera's behind them. They turn around. What they see is a big computer screen in the sky with Drayden up there with a flashlight shining a light. What are you guys doing in there?
fuck, he's back again.
Like a floating window that follows them around.
Yeah. Oh, this is so fucking scary. This is my nightmare.
What just happened?
We lost
Oh, what's
somebody.
his face? What's his face?
Lost Akaroth.
That's the guy's
Akaroth.
name.
Did he turn a light
He's
on?
back now.
There was too much energy being
He was
generated.
trying to shine
by
that light in his screen.
So by colliding
Whoops.
the two sources of light, the impact, because the speed of light goes really fast. So when you have two sources of light and you point them at each other, all of that energy is colliding at. Drayden, what's the speed of light?
It's basically 300,000 kilometers per second. It's like
300,000
299,986.
We'll
Something
call
like
it 300,000
300,000
kilometers
is
per
a nice
second
safe
for
estimate.
simplicity's sake. You're slamming particles together at that speed. Kids, don't try this at home. Don't point two flashlights at each other because you will wreck the universe as we know it.
Yeah, luckily that's never happened before.
Thank God it's never happened.
Parents have been telling their kids this for generations.
And you know, for as long as the
It's hard.
human race has been around, thank God nobody has thought to point two flashlights at each other and turn
Don't
them
cross the stream.
Don't cross the streams.
see,
The
but that's
Ghostbusters
an
told us back in the
angle, so
80s.
That's like an
It was a
angle.
premonition. They were trying to warn us. We couldn't know. We
No,
didn't
you can
know.
cross
so
them.
much.
That's an angle, and then they just redirect off of each other. So that's
They
why
bounce?
you get that's why you get the.
Because that's how light works.
Yeah.
It bounces off of itself.
Well, it's a solid, so.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I can't prove you're wrong.
Yeah, that's true. You can't prove me wrong, so therefore I must be right.
Yeah, watch someone who's never seen this show before. It's like, oh man, I heard they talk about some good science on this show, and then they like hear that, and they're like, oh man, I'm so smart now.
They're talking
I'm
about
so
bouncing
smart now. My
light
friends
off-
aren't gonna believe what I learned today.
So what else is going on, guys?
So they talked about ray tracing, and then they talked about level of detail changes, which is kind of neat.
The LOD.
I like the part where
Oh
you'll also see an
lord.
improvement in how the in-game camera calculates what should render, ensuring that objects out of view are not taking up unnecessary system resources. So that would mean like if a ship is out of view on your screen, it won't render it, which means it won't.
That
use up all the
surprised
a
me.
good idea.
Isn't that how most games work anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, but Eve doesn't.
What does now?
Eve is rendering things that you can't even see.
I think it was probably rendering whatever was on grid with you. Essentially, like it was rendering.
And once they made the grid so big, that probably was problematic.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I that's what I
Huh.
would bet is if it was doing anything, it was rendering the grid.
Like you shouldn't be able to see something 20,000 kilometers away or whatever.
It's like,
There's
And
no
I
need to
think
render
there is a
something
distance
at that
that you
distance.
can't right click and look at anymore,
it's like Schrodinger's
but I don't know what that
ships.
distance is. He said, "Wait, this
Oh.
makes no sense."
Then yeah,
Darwin, do you
Can
just
you
want to come on the
elaborate?
chat and come on the call and
Yeah.
tell us why we're all fucking morons?
I mean, I can
Darwin's
read.
like, wait, no, you got it wrong
can take it.
again. Why does my camera keep going to like 10 FPS?
It's- That-
Yeah, what's with that super fiber, bro?
It's
I
like
don't think it's
goddamn
well, no,
DirectX
because
12.
it's all of your
I-
cameras are smooth,
I'll
so it's not
bet-
a connection. It's my
No.
camera. It's probably my
I-
computer's hot because
I'll-
I was fucking baking. It's
I'll
hot
bet
as shit.
it's because I've noticed this about the stream. I think your machine tends to have trouble when we have 6 cameras on, because each of those is a different viewport in OBS. I think your
these are all
CPU
five
might
of
be
your
doing a
camera-
lot of work, which is
Yeah.
probably causing your
My
camera
CPU is
lag.
old. It's an i7, but man, it's an old i7. It's like a 67.
I'll bet your CPU is working a little too hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd just take a look at
Okay.
your task manager and see what your resources look
Hey,
like.
Darwin.
Hey, Darwin.
So levels of detail. Were you guys talking about rendering the whole grid?
I'm at 30.
With
30%
that might be
CPU.
plausible.
We were just trying to figure out like how much beyond the edge of your screen that you're, the view of the camera that it
Yeah,
was rendering.
like does Eve render objects behind me that I can't even see?
No.
Okay.
And in fact, it'll take the shape of what your camera can see and throw away things outside it
It will take the
before
shape.
rendering.
Say that again.
Say that like
So
I'm stupid.
your camera can see like a it's like a trapezoidal solid that extends out from the camera. Like imagine a pyramid that's centered with a little point
Yeah,
right at
and your camera
Like a
is at the
cone?
tip
Right.
almost.
It's a frustum is what it's called. Or a frustrum. A frustum, rather.
It's frustrating.
Frustum. Hardly knew him.
Thrust them.
Yeah. But
Hey,
in any case, everything outside that pyramid gets thrown away
okay.
to start with.
I was misunderstanding the dev block then.
Although there are exceptions because, like, if you have indirect light from something that's outside the frame, you don't want to throw your lights away and stuff like that. But generally,
So when hold on. So when I look, I was doing this the other day. I was hanging outside Jita in my pod, and I was looking at the reflections of things in my pod. But in order to do that, like the billboards specifically, I was watching the billboards in the reflection of my pod. I thought that was so cool. But my camera is
the
pointed towards my
reflections are
pod.
different. The reflections are different because imagine that that's got a different camera, basically. So you can see stuff in your reflections that would be called out in the render for your main
Right.
view.
So the reflections are their own viewpoint, kind of?
Well, yeah, I mean, what gets rendered and what doesn't get rendered is different from the
Wow.
reflections.
This
that
is
are
so
in the game.
cool. Guys, we have to have Darwin on
So-
more frequently.
That link that I don't know who posted it. It's OpenGL. The most recent one that Timber posted, Caldari Prime, has like a 20-second video that shows you somebody interacting with their camera based on the frustum,
Right.
thing, and it's pretty cool to see how it plays out. Like it's in an avatar-based game, but you know what I'm saying.
So I actually have a story about this. Years and years ago, I used to work at DreamWorks Animation. We were working on, animated films and stuff like that. But the technology is pretty similar. And we were calling out stuff that was outside our view frustum. One of the things that we would do there is, by default, if you made a new thing, but you hadn't given it textures or anything like that, we'd make it a bright, like nuclear pink, so that when you were looking at a render, you could see, oh, the little pink spots are the things that still need to be to have textures put on them. Well, turned out that we had a problem because there were pink things that were outside the field of view that were bouncing light into the scene. So people would say, man, why is there this weird pink color that I'm not putting into my lighting? And the answer was that it was something outside the frame that was bouncing in.
Just interacting in a unique way.
That's so funny. That's great. I love these stories.
Sure. I have seen things before where it was like placeholder,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
wraps it with
placeholder textures.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or like
interesting that it
missing-
played out in
missing
that way.
texture, and it's usually like a hot pink checkerboard pattern. At least like in the source engine, I think that's what they use. If a texture can't render, it's like hot pink with a checkerboard pattern.
Space Gator asks a question about whether ships will slowly receive new textures. I mean, I don't know what the team's plans are for retexturing things, but I do know that when when they go in and touch a thing or they kind of make changes to it, they'll often do cleanup on the textures and give it a prettiness pass. And so you may see things improving over time, but I don't know whether anybody's planning like an actual like, okay, we're going to spend the next month going through everything and making it more pretty. I mean, they do that kind of thing every now and then, but I have no idea what the plans are.
Darwin, in that dev blog post, there's like an exequer model that's kind of rotating, and it keeps getting more and more whatever polygons. I don't know if.
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's what it's for.
So level of detail. I mean, you can see from that image what it is. When you have a really like high quality model that has lots and lots of polygons, so you get lots of detail. When it's much farther away, it doesn't really help if those polygons are like way smaller than a pixel, because you're just throwing away all that information when you render it. So the idea of level of detail is to have simpler and simpler versions of it that render much faster.
Like the further it gets away.
Right. And so we had a few levels of detail before, and now we have many more. And that's kind of the idea.
I can say that Marvel did this with either Infinity War or Endgame, probably both. He was in both movies, right? Anyway, they had different models for Thanos based on where he appeared in the scene. So those really close-up shots, like the close-up shots of Thanos, they're a unique model with a very high level of detail. But when he's like out in the distance, that's a completely different model with less detail because it doesn't need to be rendered because you're not going to see it anyway.
Okay.
Right. And in fact, in visual effects, you might end up in weird situations where two different companies do those shots. So like all the stuff where a character is way off in the distance goes to one major visual effects
Right.
company, and then you've got some specialist company that does all the close-ups of that character because they've put in the time to make like a really high-res model. But usually what we would do when I was working in the visual effects world is we'd make a kind of a medium res version of it and then say, okay, we're going to make a special version if we have to do like extreme close-ups or something like that, because it's never worth it to put all that detail in and then just carry it around with you.
Put it way in the background where nobody's going to see it.
Right, because when you're actually rendering that thing, you're doing the work to move that data off the disk
Yeah.
into the computer and then figure out what you can throw away. And it's just, it makes it much more time consuming to do anything with that asset.
Well,
Neat.
gentlemen,
Graphics programmer in the house. Ask me.
I love this actually. I really love hearing you talk about this stuff. I feel like I'm learning a lot.
A lot of it's over my head. I remember when you came on, you're like, well, this is how DirectX works. And you finish the explanation. I'm like, cool. And in the back of my head, I'm like, whoosh. Like, it's like, I don't know any of this, but that's why I don't do graphics stuff.
And like
I do appreciate the final product. Like, it's like, oh, cool. Well, all those workings, that's awesome. I'm glad they work.
Yeah, I mean, the big change between DX11 and DX12 is that when you go from DX9 to DX11 to DX12, in the old days, the card would, like your graphics card, had hardware to do more of the stuff. And so it had kind of a whole concept for what you were doing in your render, like baked into the hardware. And so you'd basically just throw a bunch of stuff at it and say, go render the scene. Whereas in the modern systems, they're more general computing devices. They're used for things like cryptocurrency, mining, and all kinds of computational tasks that are not graphics. And so because of that, they're more generally programmable. And so the systems put it more on the programmer to figure all that stuff out and feed it the right data in the right way. So what that means is you can get better performance, you can get much more cool stuff happening, a much more complicated render pipeline that produces a nicer picture with DX12, but it also puts more on the programmer to get all that stuff right. So that's why I was saying bug report all the glitches and stuff you see.
You're not my real dad.
Because it's far less likely that it's going to be a driver problem or a hardware problem that's causing that, rather than something on our end.
Fuck you, Akarov.
Nobody reacted at all, so I was like, I don't know, I thought
I've
it
been
was
laughing
funny.
my ass off over here. That was great. I need a refill. I'll be right back.
Oh, we already did shots to Ricks, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
You can do more, but we did. I tried to do one to LB, but he's so damn fucking modest and humble. He wouldn't.
We
He
did
just like
one. I
glazed
took
right
one.
over. Yeah, you were like,
Okay.
how about we do a real one now? I was like, oh, thanks.
Well,
yeah,
we
fuck,
did one to
fuck
LB
my
too.
shot. Fuck me
Oh, so
acknowledging
LB's
you.
back. Yeah, LB, like, so you're gone for 2 weeks. 1 week was your funny shirt dinner.
Right, that's what the other one was. I was racking my brain like, why
What was
did I miss
what was
2 weeks
last
in a row?
week's?
Last week we went camping.
That's right, because it was Canada Day.
That's right. Yep.
It's a big outdoorsy like event for the.
It's
thing.
basically Independence Day for Canada. They basically are July
Like
4th. They
similar?
get yeah. They do theirs on the 1st.
A little bit less freedom, but almost
Yeah.
the same.
Go out, grill, give us some nature.
God, what was
Stuff like
that
Yeah,
meme I saw?
Grilled
on-
some meats, shoot some fireworks we bought at a gas station, roast some
Nice.
marshmallows. No big deal.
You can buy fireworks at a gas station?
Dude, some states have a lot of freedom.
Yeah,
man.
we
I
have to
gotta
go to
know
the
how yours works,
Reds.
We gotta go to Wyoming.
Oh,
Actually, that's a lie.
Maybe
We got
there's more freedom up here.
no. We,
They Michigan legalized it fireworks a couple years ago,
There's
but
a lot of states.
only over certain holidays.
I do
So
love,
like it pops up around like the 4th and like Labor Day, Memorial Day,
Yeah,
those weekends.
we can
I
go
have-
to the reservation.
I'll tell you
and get,
guys,
like, the
4th
big
of July is a
explosive
drag
fireworks.
here.
The drag why?
it's a drag here too. I
Yeah.
gotta be
It's
honest.
a dragon,
Lately.
dragon Iceland, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Why-
We have to,
Why-
we have to work.
Oh right. Yeah, 'cause
Wait,
it's-
hold on. I was told. Now, I was told by CCP Guard, the artist formerly known as CCP Guard, that it's very common in Iceland for companies to just pick and choose whatever holiday they want to take off. Is this not the case? Was I lied to?
Oh, I mean,
He said it
they
was
could-
like it's just very casual. It's like, yeah, we just if it's a holiday and we want to take the day off, we just do it.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but kind of. But you know, if you don't show up on July 4th and you're like, I don't know, I'm an American, it's a religious holiday.
It's a religious.
That checks out.
That checks out.
I'm pretty sure
You're-
it's a religion. Of
You're not an American anymore, though, Darwin. You're,
He's a
I'm
co-
totally an American.
Didn't you get full
He's at least half
citizenship?
American. I think just
I,
has
have,
dual.
I
though.
am. I'm both.
Oh, okay.
Half of him is still American.
No,
You
yeah.
can't
You know what?
oppose. That's
You're
un-American.
you're still American as far as I'm concerned.
I'm American as far as Icelanders are concerned too.
I was like, as far as anyone concerned, yeah. Isn't he 200% American? Well, I don't know how that math works, but I'll go with it because it sounds super patriotic.
I do
How-
like.
How can you be?
If you tell an Icelander that you're an Icelander, they look confused and they think for a moment and they're like, "Oh, you have citizenship."
I was like the. I was.
And
laughing
then
at
do they
the-
still judge you?
Always.
Nice. Okay, just making sure.
No, I always laugh at the firework regulations, and I mean not just my state, but a lot of states. Like, you'd think in Idaho
So-
they'd just be like, "Oh, you can just get whatever you want." It's like, I mean, oh, you're 18, you want an AR-15, no problem. Firecrackers? Oh shit, those are dangerous. Son. You can't
we
get those.
had a oh my god, we're having one of the driest summers ever here, and there was an official announcement from the state government, guys. We're not telling you not to shoot fireworks, but please, for the love of God, be fucking careful. Sure enough, the morning of July 5th, an entire mountain is on fire.
Yeah.
Way to go, Utah. I'm so proud to live here.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I've got an unpopular
No,
opinion.
they don't have to mow it.
we're allowed to have
It's true.
fountains and
Who
stuff like
mows a
that,
mountain?
but we can't anything that
That's what
goes
goats are for.
boom, any explosive fireworks are illegal. But there's a reservation about 35 minutes south of here, and they don't have to follow the state's rules, and so you can just buy like the giant big ass fucking mortars. And,
It's not like that scene from Joe Dirt where he only has like the two basic.
yeah, and like some of the shops down there, they
You know,
even
it's-
have the
Nobody's
illegal
actually
mortars.
seen Joe Dirt, you know that.
Don't you lie to yourself,
Whoa.
man.
Well, they'll have the mortar shells that are actually even illegal for the reservation. Like the tribe said, okay, those are too big. You can't get people those. And like the shops are like, yeah, but we can still get them, and we just won't
They say
tell you
don't
that."
stomp on our freedoms.
Yeah, like
dude. We
there
were
was
here
one year
first.
we got some. They were 5-inch mortar shells that we got from this
Jesus
Wow.
They were
fucking
fucking-
Christ.
Trying to take out satellite.
Not
They were-
fireworks. It's fucking artillery.
That's fucking, I was going to say.
They're
Did any
like
of you guys watch?
You
Well,
probably
those
need
are
a
like-
license to,
those are like
to
the
use that shit.
those are like the professional grade fireworks that you see at like the big shows and stuff. And we're like, it was like a big box like this big, and it had 9 shots in it. It was like,
Okay,
and they were.
I
Does
just
the
want to.
Second Amendment allow you to have
A
mortars?
5-inch mortar equals 127 millimeters.
Yeah, that's a
The,
howitzer.
the main gun on an Abrams main battle tank is
121.
120 millimeters.
Yeah,
So it's bigger
What's that in freedom?
than a tank cannon.
it's bigger than a tank cannon.
My
yeah.
the wheels on my rollerblades, I want to say are 125 millimeters. They're big.
They were huge. It was, yeah, like I said, it was like a box like this, like about this big, and it had 9 shots.
So
They went up
Unpopular
high,
opinion.
too. They were like, boom, and they still
I
like,
think
so
it's
cost?
about time that we stop allowing people to buy ridiculous fucking fireworks in this country because things burn all the time and people blow their fucking fingers off and
It
hurt their
happens
families and all these things. And
every
it's like,
Single.
why can't we just treat
year.
it like St. Patty's or whatever? We know we're all going to go try to get hammered and
Yeah,
have a good time
listen,
and cook and
we-
do whatever,
we
like, but
can keep the
we don't have to
barbecue.
explode things. Let
we
the
can keep
cities
the
do it with
alcohol.
firefighters and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But like,
we can keep the parades. We
you
can
can
keep
still
the
have fireworks, but like,
keep the
we're all just
weird
fucking up.
fetishization of patriotism. Sure, keep all of that. Just get rid of the fucking fireworks.
Let's just kill a few less birds, terrorize a few less pets, and like have less people go to the ER
we're a little,
on the 4th of July.
but like, we're pretty
all I'm-
safe.
Hopefully
That's
you are
all
going
I'm
to get
thinking.
deported talking like
We
that.
have a couple hoses
know.
out there ready to go.
Nobody
'cause-
watches
No,
the
we
show.
have
We'll be
we
fine.
have free speech. We can talk about our shitty government like this, and nobody can do anything about it.
Take that,
Yes.
rest of the world.
Well,
you don't
but-
even know what freedom is.
So like we take
Just
safety-
wait a couple of weeks, Manic.
I know I'm gonna have men
we
show up to
take
my
safety
door.
precautions with
I
fires.
was gonna
though.
say
So,
we'll
like,
just
You go by
disappear.
the name Manic Velocity. No, that's another guy.
So we do them at my parents' property. They have 5 acres. And they also, one of those like things where like it's like just a ground reservoir. They got the little hand spigot things you can attach a hose to. We have 2 of those out there, ready to go. And then we have because we call it yard pong. It's basically beer pong, but instead of using like a table with little plastic cups, we fill up 5-gallon buckets in a beer pong shape.
With booze?
And we throw and like, no, just water. But then you have to drink.
Jaden,
but-
your family is all giants, and you guys can all drink 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, that's like what we do shots in. But we have like little like
God.
Nerf
Oh,
soccer balls, and we like throw that. We like set them up like 20 feet away and just play yard pong that way.
That
but then-
sounds great, actually.
yeah, it's actually really fun. But when we're done, we have like 20 buckets, 5-gallon buckets, and we fill them all up with water and kind of situate them all out and around in various spots where the fireworks are going off. So like if we see like a little fire start up in some bushes, you run over and dump the bucket on it. So like we like to shoot off
Yeah,
fireworks, but
you-
we're also
you
like,
keep-
fires can happen, and we need to
You
be
keep
ready
the
to-
water bucket handy. Honest to God,
I saw-
Responsible
every
citizen.
single video. Now that you mention it, every single video I've seen about people doing bad shit with fireworks on 4th of July, nobody's got a water bucket handy.
Yeah.
Here's
None
the
of
thing.
them have had a water bucket.
Here's the thing. I saw a video from this 4th of July where people it's a very visibly like suburban cookie cutter neighborhood, whatever. Got probably 15, 20 feet of yard and then the street and then the other houses on this, and they all look the same. Little boxes on the hillside. And
That
these
reference.
people are shooting off a mortar or some, what is presumably a mortar, and they light it and they run off and they either knocked it over, they fucked up somehow, maybe it misfired, something. Well, the family's all maybe 10 to 15 feet up, sitting in some like lawn chairs in the yard, and the kids are standing and whatever, and the parents are sitting. They've got an SUV in the driveway off to the corner of the screen, and behind it is apparently the stash of everything. So this mortar thing fucks up and shoots like the 5 or 10 feet over to the back of the vehicle, hits everything they have, which I will say, without being able to see it because it's behind the vehicle in the scene, but you see how much shit comes out of it. It is a phenomenal amount of fireworks that they had. And it's all like shooting at everybody's fucking eye level and stuff. And I'm like, there's kids everywhere. Like, what is happening right now? I don't know if a bucket of water would have been quick enough in the moment to be like, let's douse all of the fireworks we spent thousands of dollars.
I just
probably
said
on,
in
but-
chat, having a water bucket is better than having no water bucket.
I agree, but I'm just saying, like,
We have
this
20
is
water
what we're
buckets.
working with. Like a
And
bunch of
also-
people could be
How about
blind
this?
because of the
True Americans use water buckets on the 4th of July. Get with the fucking program.
And we
If
also
you
have,
want to see what that looks like, by the way, I just posted that video in Tito's Vodka Lounge on the Discord.
Biggity
Is it the
bang.
same one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm pretty
But
sure.
also,
Oh, it is.
um,
100%.
and the thing is, like,
Yeah.
my parents have like a little half-court basketball thing, so we're lighting all the fireworks off of a concrete pad, so there's no flammable stuff off.
Yeah.
They're getting
Don't
launched.
light your fireworks in dry grass.
Yeah,
Can,
so
can
we're
we
lighting
play that on the stream?
we're lighting them off of a big concrete pad, and then we have water buckets all around to put stuff out, and then we also, like I said, there's 2 reservoirs with little hand spigot things to fill up more buckets if we need more water. So it's like that's about as safe as that's not a guarantee like that there never will be a fire, but I mean we've been doing it for 20 years and have never had.
Here's a
an
fun
issue.
thought that
We've had to
integrates.
dump a bucket a couple times on a little like it's a little like little fire starting over there and it's out. You know.
Here's
so.
a fun thought that integrates multiple of our freedoms on our Freedom Day. Not just a water bucket, have your fucking hose turned on with the gun, you know, where you just, when you press it, it goes and it's not flowing otherwise. And if shit starts going south, just fucking gun it. Because that's what Americans do. Point a
Well,
gun
but
at
I
it
mean,
and
the
fix the
fireworks,
problem.
the area that fire, like when you shoot fire, the area that things can come down in is really big. Your hose might not reach, but that's why we station the buckets out and around, and then we do have hoses on those hand spigots ready to go.
Drayden, you're in the
case-
water business and you don't have a respectable, like, hose pressure?
Well, no,
Like,
we
make
do.
it happen, dude. I thought you would know all the cool tweaks,
can't
like
have
the
a ho-
cable guy,
you-
like fucking with your
you
box.
need
You'd be
a-
like, oh, I know how to make your shower flow so
But
hard.
when you're lighting fireworks off, it's like it could be like 200 feet in any direction. Your hose isn't going that far unless you have a fire hose.
I mean, I'm talking about in the context of like things like this video where it's like it's shooting towards the main stash of fireworks.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that's
we
another
I
should
thing.
don't want to
watch-
run
I
over there
think-
with a bucket.
That's
I wanna
another thing. We
fucking
don't
shoot
stash our
gun of water
fireworks.
at things.
Like
I
I said,
think we should watch that video and analyze what they did wrong.
What?
Do a
Can
breakdown.
you use the
Yes, do
Madden
a
pin,
breakdown.
like what you did with the beard thing?
I do remember seeing there's a big fireworks show in Coeur d'Alene that they do every year, and it's the resort puts it on and stuff. And so they do it out. There's like a big fireworks barge they have out in the lake that lights them all off. And I remember one year is like they used to have a pretty good finale. It was like going off, but it like went off so low to the horizon. I was like, what's going on? And apparently one of the fireworks went off on the boat, and then all the fireworks on the boat started, and all the people on the boat just dove off into the water. They're like, fuck! And then the whole ship just started blowing.
That's awesome. Do you guys remember like a handful of years ago when that one city like the wiring went wrong? Because you know like the big city shows are all fucking super like wired up and it's like a choreographed thing with computers and things, and they blew the whole thing at once.
Oh,
So
wasn't this,
San
this was like in
Diego.
Florida or something?
no,
I
Val
think
said
it was
it's
San
San
Diego, or
Diego,
something, but
yeah.
like, and it just like it was like, you know, a city-sized fireworks show that was probably going to go for 45 minutes.
It
plus or
literally
something.
lit up the sky.
And
Like it looked like daytime for a
They
split
sent like a
second.
nuke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, fireworks. They're dangerous, kids. Let the firefighters run fireworks. I don't know. My uncle used to live on the Sacramento River in California. He had like a beach made on his river. He like had sand hauled in, and they had a cool spread. He did very well for himself. And he would help put on like the fireworks show for their little town area that was just, you know, between more major areas in California. And it was a quaint little area, but they would coordinate with the local fire. They would have firefighters there. Like they would volunteer to be like, you know, on duty or whatever that night. And they would help like keep everything safe with the whole thing so that they could put on like a high dollar, you know, show and whatnot, but it would still be reasonably safe with their help and supervision, you know? I know this is like a completely un-American thing that I'm even just proposing right now, but like, just I watched that video a couple days ago and I was like, I already had it in my head because either friggin' Ricks or somebody put out a tweet like last weekend maybe, that was like something, made some sort of joke about like people losing fingers. And it was right before 4th of July and I was like,
Yeah, I saw that one. It was someone in the U.S. right now doesn't know that this is the last weekend they're gonna have with all 10 fingers.
yeah.
And it's like and it hit me. That's actually true. I guarantee you,
And
there's
then I
at
saw
least
that
one person
video.
that blew a finger off this weekend or last weekend.
I
At
just
least
know
one.
that it's not good to have people have this much freedom. And I'm a fucking fascist.
Are you coming down on the freedom?
I really wish we were a little safer with letting people play with explosives.
But that's the thing is most states have
He's
regulations
smart.
against it. Most of the fireworks that are
Here
doing that
we
kind of stuff.
go.
All you got to do is cross the border to the next state. That
Well, I know,
doesn't,
but
that's how
that's
most states
the
work.
thing is, it's not that there aren't regulations on those fireworks; it's that people just break them anyway.
There's some extent to that, but that's because it is available the next county or the next.
It's also
state
not
or
really
whatever.
enforced unless it becomes an issue. Like,
Well,
That's
and
the thing. Like they could actually make it illegal. They could. It's the enforcement that it comes down to. It like
like here, explosive
Don't get me
fireworks are
wrong,
illegal.
people are
but
going to
if you
do it.
don't-
Fireworks could be outlawed tomorrow, and people would still
Here's
get
the
their
thing.
hands on them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no! Oh, this is gonna
wait,
get
we
dull.
have to go there for
boy.
a second.
all
because
the
here's the
fireworks that
thing,
everyone lights
that's
off
the same
here.
argument with like gun crime and things like
Here
that.
we
and I'm
go.
not like
No,
anti-gun, but
let's
listen,
not.
Medic, 2 seconds.
No,
thing is,
I
it's a
did
very
this.
They did a
commercialized-
career agent site overhaul.
I
They
did
made,
this. That's
the
our career agents.
sites.
Career agents.
Yeah, they look just like Abyssal things now. I don't know if you've done Abyssal stuff before. Manic, I know you're a big fan of Abyssal.
I love Abyssal
Content.
Proving
Abyssal
Grounds.
Proving Grounds.
Abyssal Proving Grounds, Abyssal Filaments, the whole instance PvE, PvP. You love that shit. I know it.
Oh yeah.
But now the career agent missions they could look kind of like that. Big giant asteroids, cool looking levels, like neat, super cool. So there's that.
Also instanced or not?
Well, it's the new
Is it
it's a
an
career
instant?
agent. So you're
They're
gonna
not-
warp
they're
into
not
a career
instant.
agent site, right? And it's gonna look more like an Abyssal site than like an old site, which would be like the shitty potato asteroid fucking thing. You know how the old ones looked. Remember doing missions? Remember them?
I do remember.
I have run a mission or two.
Or a mission or two, right? Remember how they looked?
Yeah.
I was zoomed
Boring.
down.
Well, these aren't your daddy's missions. These are fancy ones now. So
These aren't your
Enjoy.
daddy's mission.
I call shenanigans on that. 'cause
This
we're
isn't
still
your
gonna take that
dad's
damn
Eve
game.
Online.
You can actually say that with a straight face, and that's
Honestly,
the funniest thing about
that's,
this
yeah, you're right.
discussion
You're
right
totally
now.
right.
I had a guy. You guys remember old watch lists where it was like your friends list, but like it
Yeah.
was an Intel tool too.
Yeah,
and
we
at
had.
some point they changed it. However many years ago, where like
you can
if
only
you
see
weren't
if someone comes
simultaneously,
online unless they're also
right,
got
you
your
had to
friends
have
list.
each other buddied.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of my like early days people, and I started back in like early 05. One of the guys, I started seeing him log in and from like one of my first corps, and I was like, hey guy, send him a mail, whatever. And it was his son playing, and he was like 18-ish, whatever, and he was like, I used to see my dad playing this all the time, and he gave me his credentials because I wanted to see what it was about or something. And I was like, I was hanging out with your dad when you were a boy, like hit me right in the feels.
New player, who dis?
And I've actually seen that a few times actually, where it was like somebody's kid or something, and I'm like, wow, dude, like, God,
Maybe that's how they should market all the new.
my Eve could
uh,
drive now. My Eve
graphical
resume
changes
or
now.
whatever could drive.
Yeah, it was funny because when they did that change, it's like, well, there's no reason for me to have all these people on my watch, like all the super pilots and all that shit. So I was like going through cleaning up my list, but the thing is, like, I realized how few because people that I play with, I'm just used to them being online. I didn't really add them to my friends list thing. And I was, like, when I finished clearing out
It
the
was-
friends
it was
list, I
just
looked
like-
at it, it's like, oh, but
It was nice to know when your friends were coming online.
yeah, it's
And,
like,
and
feel
you,
like
you,
Steven
still, you,
tried
still,
on
you still can. Like I still see like Rain, and I have everybody on like the old Streamfleet crew. I have them on my friends list, so I see when Streamfleet people come online. And
Does
but like, yeah, it's nice to. I don't know, what are we talking about? They took like
the
I could
watch list
see
thing? I was just
the
watch
watch
list
list being used as an intel tool. That's
is
like
why they got rid of it for
Yeah,
like
that-
super hunters and stuff like
that
that.
wasn't what it
disintegrated.
was intended. There was no counter to it.
Right.
So yeah,
So they did change it. So a fun one though, because I do like seeing it like chime up even to this day when it like old faces are logging in, because a lot of it is that people don't add contacts as much anymore, I think, because of all the like robustness of Discord and all these ways you can communicate
Yeah.
outside the game. I know that I have not added contacts in a long time this game. When I meet new players and we kind of hit it off, I notice they add me with like good standing. I'm like, oh, that's nice. I'll add you back, whatever. But fun one that I see decent amount here and there lately, like since basically the war, the last like big B war. Does anybody here know who Hargoth Agamar is? Does anybody remember that one?
Never heard of him.
That sounds like an alt of yours.
It is not, but does have a very
Hargamoth.
role player games name.
You got Akaroth and what is it?
Thoraka.
Hargoth Agamor? I'm probably.
That's a mouthful.
So Hargoth Agamor is the guy who pressed the button that shut down Band of Brothers.
Oh.
Got turned.
Wait, I thought that was the guy that started. His
goon
name started with an
turncoat.
X. Like,
Hargoth Agamor.
Oh,
That's his name.
that was like Zaya, whatever. Maybe that was a different character name he used.
And we still have each other friended from way back in the day. And I don't even. So I happened to be in Amar, like in the trade hub Amar, the day after that happened. And even back in the day, it wasn't Reddit or whatever. It was the CAOD or the COAD forums, the Corporation Alliance and Organization Discussion. That was the Reddit of its day, where everybody just talked shit and, made their war declarations and whatever. That was the fun politics Eve, nullsec and, whatever the meta interaction stuff was. And the day after that happened, which was huge for the game and news and whatever, he came into local in Amar and I comboed the guy, and we'd never spoken or met or anything before. But I was like, what just happened? And he told me the whole fucking story of like how he like got to that situation. And after he was done, and this is one of my like, I'm just going to reminisce for a second because we've all been playing this for a long time. This is one of my weird, crazy, fun, coolest like Eve moments ever. He was like, you're the first person I've like sat down and like told why like all this came to be. And I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. You just shut down at the time the most influential alliance that had been in the game, like, overnight or whatever. And it was crazy. But we like contacted each other or whatever, friends listed each other, and I still see him like log in every now and then the notifications, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like Hargoth back in 2007 or whatever the fuck, you did that thing. And I'm glad to see you still log in once in a blue moon.
I kind of like what Val's saying there. Like, this probably be something more for who does the QOL, the little things.
Oh, Karker.
Karker. Yeah, I was like Karker. But yeah, like maybe some more colors on the thing, because I was saying like one of the few times I'll add a contact now is like if a specific corp or alliance or something that it's like I want to know. Maybe they're just neutral, but I want to know like this particular group is something I want to know if they're coming in local or something. So I'll set them the whole corp or alliance red. So it's like, oh, that's one of those guys. But yeah, like maybe more colors or different symbols or something like that to
quality of life stuff.
Yeah, so where it's like, oh, okay, goons are gonna be this, and Band of Brothers, but Brave.
Honestly, not only because of that, because we've developed such crazy organization.
So it's a little easier to just like at a quick glance know, oh, that's that guy, without me having to like, oh, flashing red or a red thing, like double click what group are they actually with. It's a little more easier just at a glance in the character list.
So I don't know how much any of y'all watched like the war streams from the last big war, but like there was a handful of people like Talking Stations, and I'm sure some of the Imperium streams and whatever, that like all you can really do is like a few basic colors to like show the sides and the fleets that are coming in and interacting. And for a lot of people, I get it from like the outside looking in. Eve streams are not for outside people because it's very basic looking, all the little squares on your screen. But like for the war streams and a lot of people involved in the game, they made sense and there was context and you could understand which fleets were which and which colors were which. But there was so few colors that like when all the different groups were like clashing into each other and stuff, there wasn't a ton of discernibility, and like that would be really cool if you could do like a little bit more granularity to like the color schemes, and it wasn't just like, well, these are the blue guys and these are the red guys, but you can't discern much more strategy from that because you can't see like the more intricate aspects of it.
Yeah, and so there's a notes page and a detail. I get that, but you have to like double click them, show info, go over to the notes tab. Like that takes time. I would rather just like, oh, this person's local, and you just see like that specific logo. It's like without even having to show info on that guy, I know exactly who he's with, and it's like, so if there's, I'm not saying there has to be like 1,000 because no one would keep track of that. But like maybe have like a few, to where like very particular groups of note or pilots of note that you want set to a specific thing. You can like get that instant, just glance at the local window or something like, oh, that guy or that group,
Yeah, It'd be interesting.
Like I said, it's not a necessity thing, but it would be like kind of a neat little extra. That's what I was saying. It's probably more at Karker's alley. Just QOL changes. How many colors? That'd be probably 69. That'd be
I feel like if they just
Nice.
doubled, maybe tripled the colors, like we've got basically red, orange, if you can discern.
There's
Guys,
red,
you can't just go creating colors.
Dance a black,
There's-
dude.
we're-
All day.
There's
There's-
only so many.
red, orange, gray, light blue, and dark blue.
I'm colorblind. I'm colorblind specifically
So you
to
have
burnt
brown,
burnt
gray,
orange-
and
burnt orange and forest green. I can't tell the difference between the two. They look the same to me.
Really?
Really?
Those
they-
specific like a dark burnt orange and a dark forest green, they look the
Or
same.
what
I
about
can't-
the impossible colors? Make them that.
What does that mean?
what's an impossible like
So
ultraviolet?
It's a
no,
blue,
it's
right?
it's
There's
weird.
a
I was
certain
watching a
color
video again. That Kyle Hill guy, there's a good one. So impossible colors are colors that, when they mix, they actually make a different color. So certain colors like a red and a brown or something like that, you mix them, you could see the bits of red and the brown kind of in there a little bit. But like blue and yellow, when those mix, it makes green. You don't see blue mixed with yellow, you see green. But
Right.
so there was like this little thing. It's like a little color test to show the. Now some people can't see it, but like it basically has a yellow box and a blue box next to each other. It's like when you look at that, try to focus your eyes past it so that they kind of merge, and you'll actually see this.
Oh,
weird,
like a
almost
sorry,
like a
go ahead.
magic eye thing, but like you'll see like
Like a
this kind
magic
of
eye
merge where it will actually look like yellow and blue kind of like mixed together. It won't look green.
can
And
you
so
put-
that's an impossible.
Is there an
Or
example
red and
of this
blue.
online? I would love to do this.
You could probably Google it,
Yeah,
but
sounds
or red and blue is another one. Like red and blue is purple. You don't see red mixed with blue, I guess, but like you could see, or no, and then there's other ones where it's an orange with another orange, so there's like a deeper orange, and so it's like you could see like a deeper shade of. It's almost like a darker orange in the orange, and like most people can't see that if you like have a level of color blindness and stuff like that. It was like, oh, I never knew this kind of shit existed, but it's there. But
Like
that's the thing, is
like
like
a
those
lighter-
impossible colors like that, because that's kind of, it's not actually seeing the impossible color. It's like doing an optical illusion in your brain to trick your brain into making it as close as it can. Because technically because like, you know, there's like a reddish brown. There's things like that, but there's no such thing as like a bluish yellow. That doesn't exist. There's green. You can't have a
You know what
bluish
else?
yellow.
You know what else is an impossible color?
Huh.
These high-res nebulas. I can't
Oh.
tell the old nebulas from the new nebulas. Unless I look
Actually,
at
I
them
was
side by
gonna
side
say
and look
pink.
past the nebulas, then I see.
I'm just curious if there's like a whiter shade of pale.
I don't know.
It's called white, and
Okay.
no, as far as I know, the only actual impossible color is pink because that's not a color of light.
It's light red.
I appreciate
There you
that
go.
you're there with me, Manic. Thank you.
But I've seen it.
Well, so I pulled up this video. See an impossible color, super yellow optical illusion. I'm gonna post this in
freaking
chat.
lying.
Have you ever dreamed the impossible dream?
I
Once in a while.
I watched this video. She says, so she shows you a gigantic blue, a solid blue color, and she says just focus on this blue for about 30 seconds, and then I'll switch it to yellow. And then she
Oh,
switches
yeah.
it to yellow, and she says like you will see this impossible color because your eyes are taking a moment to adjust to this
Mhm.
new color. But I just see yellow.
That's not the one I saw, but that method is one I saw with the deeper orange in the orange. So that's the thing that's harder to do. And they said, look at this thing for a long time, and then they put another orange, and it was like almost like some kind of like a more orange than orange in the middle of the orange. It was like some weird shit. But yeah, so they're called impossible colors because our brain
I've heard of
is
this.
not set to register things like that. With it's something to do with I think it's something to do with like the cones and rods in our eyes. So like we have red, green, and blue. We don't have more than that. So certain things with various colors like just don't work with that type of with the amount of cones and rods or the types of cones and rods we have in our eyes with the way our brain interprets them. So basically, it's a limitation of our eyeballs and our brain processing that
Okay,
doesn't let us see those colors.
I've got something. I'm going to put this in
It
chat
should
now.
happen to be a tetrachromat.
I put a link to an article that talks about this and goes into some of like the sciencey.
Hey,
behind
Mr.
it.
Unlucky, welcome.
So I just linked an image in chat, just a basic PNG. So just kind of unfocus your eyes to get those two crosses to line up, like a Magic Eye 3D poster. Just unfocus and relax your eyes. And yeah, it's not green, but it's not blue, and it's not yellow.
It's kind of like a blue and yellow mix, but like it's hard to like keep it that way.
It's
like,
hard to describe. Yeah.
but it also it shifts and changes because your eyes can't stay specifically focused exactly.
If I look at one spot and I just try really, because your eyes are moving all the time, even if you're not actively moving them around, your eyes are always moving. But if I just try really hard to like focus on a corner of one of those squares, eventually the color surrounding it tends to blend together into a kind of green. But it's not green. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Fucking hell!
You're seeing a bluish yellow or a yellowish blue, and that normally is
like
the color.
it's
Green
both,
is the color. So yeah,
it's both and neither at the same time.
Yeah, but like I said, that's not actually the color. That's a trick. You're tricking your brain into kind of seeing it, something like that. But yeah, so that's a bluish yellow or yellowish blue. Like that's an impossible color. They don't, because it doesn't work. You mix those together, you get green. So yeah, that's
There's a super fight.
That's pretty
happening? What?
fucking cool.
yeah. I guess
There
there's
was a
fight.
super fight, but none of the supers died. So is it really
Oh.
a super fight?
There's super fights
know.
every.
It was
every
a wet. It was a
weekend.
wet noodle fight.
You're a super fight.
I don't think there are super fights. Every
Mom's a
weekend, just
super
slow-mo.
fight. Yeah, no,
Fucking mom's
there's there's no super fights every weekend anymore.
Some weekends though.
So hopefully soon.
Sure.
Brave versus
What else happened in Eve LB? Keep us on track,
was-
would you?
The
Cloud
Nebulas.
cloud cover updates. There's texture compression
Oh.
improvements. There's compact mode and Photon UI.
Yeah,
Hey, compact mode.
you got to enable it, but yeah,
That's nice. I actually really do like the Photon UI a lot. Well, I mean,
I
there's,
like it.
there's aspects about it that I don't like, but
it's a
as
work in
as
progress.
a whole, it's a really nice upgrade.
It's a work in progress. So I mean, like I usually will never shit on works in progress.
Yeah,
unless-
no, and
With
like,
the exception
yeah.
of like some things
Story
like
of my life.
little nitpicky things about it that I
Yeah.
think could be improved. Not that they're bad. I just think maybe they could be done better. But it's overall, it's very nice.
yeah, I mean, like there's things that's like okay, after like 4 or 5 years and you're still calling it a work in progress,
Like the map.
like Ark or
Like-
Star
like-
Citizen.
I was
Like
gonna say,
the-
is that a Star Citizen reference?
The map. Well, the new Eve map has been in beta since like 2015, hasn't it?
I feel like it's pretty much done though. Like it's just a functional new map.
But nobody uses it.
What? You don't use
I
the
think a
new
lot
map?
of people do actually.
The new map,
I use
Yeah,
the
a lot
new
of people do it. But a
I've
lot of
been-
players
yeah,
don't
like-
realize that there's
like
I
high
love the
level
new map.
FCs and shit.
No, that's
I don't
not
know.
a lot of players.
I've been using the new
It's a
map since
handful
it
of
came
people.
out. It was a little weird to get used to at first, but now like that seems like the normal map to me. Going
A
back
lot
to
of
the old
people
map,
use
it's
the
like,
new map.
oh,
I've had the new
can't
map
even zoom
turned
into
on for
solar
years at
systems
this
on this. Gross.
Well, so first off, it defaults if I recall, and then secondly, like I don't remember
Well,
if the old
yeah,
map did this so
if-
well, but like it shows jump bridges really well.
If
and some
the
other things.
beta map is the default, then yeah, the data will show that most people use it.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying
Because they
obviously-
don't know, they probably don't know that there's an alternative. What
Here's the thing, though,
what
man.
a lot of Eve
That's a
players would
2D
probably
map.
call the real map.
So here's the thing: when that happened, when the change happened, and they released it, a lot of people toggled it off and then ran the way they were running. But there's been a lot of new players since then and things that
That's
don't
what I'm
realize.
saying.
So I mean, for them, it's not necessarily a terrible map. I guess they just
Right,
use the
because
map
they
just
don't
like
know
we did.
any better.
Well,
That's what
sure,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Okay, I see what
the if CCP's data is
I use
showing,
Darwin.
most people are using the new map. Well, yeah, because you set it as the default.
But I feel like the new map is just better in every way.
I think it
agree.
had
Am I
some
using the new
improvements.
map?
Like, so why would you use the old map that has less functionality?
It doesn't
it's
have less
clunkier.
functionality. It's I don't know. I was gonna say it has more functionality, but I don't think that's true. It's probably when I'm talking about Eve players, I'm usually referring to the high level players, the
Whoa.
Guys that are guys
Whoa,
that are
yeah.
way above me, you know. I'm dumb little solo explorer dude, way down on the totem pole. I think most the really hardcore Eve players use the old map. Probably because
just 'cause
it's
that's
what
what they
they're
were
familiar
used to,
with.
but,
Probably
yeah.
because I don't know. Maybe it loads faster. They're just more familiar with it, so that's just what they stick to.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the new map lets you do more. It does everything the old map did, but more.
I think it has been refined upon, but I'm not gonna like say with any sureness. I think it has been refined upon, and I think that a lot of people find it to be more tolerable. But I understand what you're saying as well. If people don't realize that there was even another option, like, and they're a newer
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
then sure, that
All of
statistics
this
wise, it would be.
all of this to say, the new map has been in beta for a very long time.
I don't know. I'll take a word for
The
it.
canonical North Val would be like Declan. That
Declan Branch tribute.
Declan Branch tribute. Like that's the
It's
top.
not even called the beta map anymore. It's
the map.
the
Oh, did
option
they
is,
did they take the
use
beta tag
classic
off
star
of it?
map.
Classic
classic
star
star
map. Yeah, Liz, old farts. Old farts, like you and me. We're old farts. I don't know. Does 2009 count as an old fart? I would have old 2009's got to be an
Yeah,
old fart by
probably.
now.
Well, if you're
Sure.
shaking your fist at the sky about the new map,
Yeah,
you're
you're an
old
old
I'm always yelling at clouds with CCP. Yeah, I'm an old fart.
speaking of
But LB, didn't
shaking
you
your
say
fist
they
at something,
improved clouds or something? Just a minute.
they did improve the clouds, so there's much nicer
So we could
clouds
stop
for you to
yelling
shout
at them.
The weather. Did you see that vortex tornado thing in the?
I saw
video?
I saw
Space
rain
tornado?
flying through it on one of her streams last weekend.
Yeah, I've
the
never
new
actually seen the
new
storms in
tornadoes
game.
look really cool.
I've never seen the storms in game. That was
Well,
pretty
they
cool.
they
heard
took
of
them out. They took them out because they caused a like significant performance issue.
I could see
But so these new tornadoes, they're new and improved.
That sounds horrifying.
Space
you guys
tornadoes.
Do you know the selected item window? Are you familiar with that one?
Yes.
Sure.
It's right above the overview, right? You
Yes.
click
Yeah,
on
yeah.
something and then click on a button on there. Someone, I think it was Ashy, was complaining about the buttons are too small.
Okay, I can explain this. Because because this worked. It worked this way in the old UI as well. If you shrunk the selected items window down, the buttons were responsive, so they would shrink to fit the smaller space.
Yep.
And I think with the Photon UI, so Ashy probably had their selected item window shrunk down a bit to get those smaller icons in the old UI. But now with this upgrade to Photon, the new smaller icons, the responsive icons, they're now much smaller than they used to be. So I think I think that's what they were noticing. And I'll bet if they expanded the size of the selected window item 5 or 10 pixels, it'd probably be usable. Because I was doing the same thing. I was playing with the Photon UI when it first launched.
I don't know why, LB, but when you started that, I was like, did you hear? I was just waiting for you to be like, the story of Darth Pelagius the Wise.
Did you?
I was just like, God, that's
No,
what
I
it
thought
said,
I
like
just
you
thought
were
it was
going
funny
into.
that
He
people
was
were
so powerful and so wise.
tweeting about it because it's like people were upset because the Photon UI had all this wasted space. Why is all this space wasted? And then they gave you a compact mode, and then they were like, "Well, now the buttons are too small. Make it smaller. Not like that. The other way. Do it different."
No, I don't think Ashley was complaining about the too much empty space. I was complaining about that. I know I was. I still see it in some of the windows. I think
remember
there's
you
still some
mentioning it.
windows that could use a compact mode. Actually, that's not true. Well, maybe it still is true. I haven't looked at every window in the game to be certain.
Well,
But
get on that.
well, so what I've found certain windows that by default take up the entire screen, like the activity tracker, the new career agent, the air program, the star map, stuff that by default takes up the entire screen. There's certain UI or interface elements that by default take up the full screen. If you configure those windows, there's a little configuration up at the top of them. If you configure them so that they are floating windows, is what they're known as, they don't take up the full screen, and you can click and drag them around. That makes them a lot more usable because when they're blown up like that, there is a ton of wasted space. But when you shrink it down and everything is nice and responsive and it fits to where it's usable.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stop bitching.
Yeah.
Quit
Yeah,
your
everybody,
bitching.
stop being so mad all the time. It's just video games.
It sounded like it was going to be like a beatnik song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Come on. Be
Stop
cool,
bitching.
boy.
Yeah.
Damn it, man! If these pitchforks aren't going to sell themselves,
I know. Our pitchfork business is running dry.
Struggling.
All this positivity around here.
When life
Dude.
gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Get mad.
They fuck the lemons and bail.
Give the lemons back. Ask to see life's manager.
Oh, you're
I
doing
don't
a
want the
portal
damn
reference.
lemons.
I wanted limes. God damn it.
I got some tacos at a place for lunch today, and they didn't
I
have
was-
limes, and I had to get lemons. Life gave me lemons, and I just had to deal.
oh, I'm surprised you didn't
If
go.
you guys
somebody
haven't seen
had-
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I highly recommend it. It's one of
I've
my
seen it like
all-time
once
favorites.
years ago.
It's so good. Paul Rudd's in it, and that's a line that he has. Nobody got the reference that I was making. When life gives you lemons, just say fuck the lemons and bail. That's a Paul Rudd line in that movie, and
I
he's
love Paul
fucking
Rudd.
hilarious.
I mean, Paul Rudd is just Paul Rudd.
Timeless.
He's Paul Rudd.
I like Paul Rudd.
I
Look at us.
I still love the Mac and Me clips he'd bring on to Conan. all the
Dude.
time.
Oh, yeah.
I think he did that to him on his podcast too. He went on his podcast.
Every
Oh, I'm sure,
single
yeah.
time, and he's
On
like,
his last episode with, I think he was there with Bill Hader, and he
Oh,
came on
you're
to
probably
defend a
right, yeah.
story about something that he and Bill Hader had done while Bill Hader was on SNL, and he was a guest host. And he was like, "That's not how it went." And actually, I have footage of how it went. You know, some skit that didn't go over well, because all of them are just writers and they write skits, and some of them fail, and then the final show is whatever people banded behind. And instead of showing the skit, he shows that same clip that he's been showing for apparently 20 years on Conan every time he comes to boost a movie.
it's like
It's
And
a
at the end-
running joke, and I'm sure
Oh,
Conan's in
Eric,
on the joke
wait.
by now.
No,
Like he
Eric,
knows.
Wait,
They both are in awe. They're like, "I can't believe you've been doing this as weird performance art for 20 years to
It's
to the
great.
show."
That
Like, that-
movie, Paul
So-
Rudd has done more to raise awareness to that movie than anything else.
I'd never heard of it.
So the crazy thing
it's
is,
like a budget ET.
when he comes on,
that's exactly
at
what
the
it
end,
is.
he's like, and he's like, "I'll be honest, I was kind of between two different movies." He was like, and I wasn't sure which one I was going to get him to use, and I kind of pulled the trigger last minute. And he was like, but I was on the fence. Like, would you mind if I showed you the one I was on the fence with? And then he just does it again.
He does
the
it
same
again.
episode.
Yeah.
There's like every time it's and obviously Conan's staff is fucking with him
Obviously.
too because they're
They're in on it. Yeah, all the
They
all
have
the
the
shut.
funnest fucking jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Conan's good to his people from everything I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like he's like, you promised me when we talked that you do this every time you come on,
He's in on it.
and you promised me that you wouldn't do this again. I know I did.
He's such a sharp guy.
Yeah,
I love him.
Mac and me. Oh, sorry.
Have any of y'all seen the movie, physically?
No,
I've
I've
never
only
seen it.
seen
I
that
saw
clip.
it. I saw it as a kid. It is
Wow,
actually
really?
the alien actually still scares me to this day. It is the ugliest fucking
It's so
thing.
strange.
Horrible.
But no, yeah, you're right, Drayden. It was made as like a budget ET, and the star he really wanted to be in this movie because he was thinking he was maybe a little naive.
He was like, "This is
But I
my
mean,
Oscar."
his heart was in the right place. He wanted to do this movie to raise awareness to disabled people in films. He wanted to say yeah, we can do this too, that kind of thing. And the movie is now just a running joke. But
Right,
there's
I was like-
there's a literal song and dance commercial for McDonald's in the middle of the movie.
Oh,
The movie stops to take a break to play a McDonald's commercial. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
no.
Budget help.
That's
how they got
where
the funding.
That's where they got the funding. Yeah, it's a terrible movie. The alien is god terrifying, but the clip of that kid
I was
falling
saying,
off
it's
the
like,
cliff
he
is
wants-
fucking hilarious.
I know it's like we want to raise awareness for disabled people in films, and,
and then
yet
they throw him
the
off a
f-
cliff.
Yeah,
Well,
they're like
the
him
original ending. The
falling
original
down the
ending.
cliff, and
You guys know the original ending?
no,
The kid was supposed to get shot like by the
Whoa.
cops. Like he comes out of a mall or something, and the cops shoot him to
He's
death.
got a wheelchair.
That's very American.
That was the original ending, and obviously they changed it. But
Look how
yeah,
threatening he looks. Get
totally
down.
fucked up.
He's not
Yeah.
getting down.
It's like the funniest part is like, oh, his brakes
I
don't
can't,
work, and he just like
officer.
careens down a hill in a wheelchair and just launches off a cliff into the water, and everyone's like, ha ha.
It's funny. It's a
Well,
funny scene. It's
That's the
well,
weird thing
it's
too.
like-
the
so
alien just
first-
like pops up and he's like, "What?"
yeah, it's a perfect storm. You've got, and this sounds terrible. This sounds terrible. Okay, the movie was made in a different time
With different sensibilities.
with the different sensibilities. The kid rolling down the hill on a wheelchair probably got a lot of laughs. It's not. It wasn't funny then. It's not funny now. I understand that I'm smiling
It's funny
and
in the context of the movie. Don't you,
I'm
you don't have to
speaking about
sugarcoat it.
this with a little element of glee. It's a funny visual. And then he falls in the water, which is funny. And then the alien pops up to react to it, it was obviously green screened. The alien wasn't even there.
It was weirdly
just-
green screen.
They just comped him in for that reaction shot. It's so funny and weird.
I thought that every time I saw it, I was like, why did they like green screen that instead of just pop a map out
They
of like some
they could have
brush?
just had the puppet there, but I guess maybe somebody forgot the puppet that day.
It might have been an afterthought. Like,
It's like
when they
where's
were
the puppet?
finishing.
We don't have the. We'll fix it in post.
Exactly.
We'll put him on a green screen.
I feel like we should link it for anybody who's not familiar with whatever that video
We just
is
play
on
it?
The Conan phenomenon. You can do whatever you want.
Oh shit!
I
Sorry.
put
It's
a
your show,
fun
man.
on the McDonald's commercial topic. I put a fun fact in chat for how they make their coffee look like it's piping hot in their commercials. It's pretty funny.
Dude, there is a whole science behind making food look good in commercials.
Oh,
I can
that's
tell you all about it.
True.
I've read a little
Pancakes
bit on
have motor oil on them.
Pancakes have motor oil.
Dude, there's some crazy industry tricks.
Yeah.
When they shoot cereal commercials, the milk that they use, like the milk, it doesn't look or behave like milk. It looks very
It's got a
thick
great
and viscous.
splash texture.
So what they do, sometimes they'll just use, for some shots, they'll just use like straight Elmer's glue, or sometimes they'll mix Elmer's glue with something to kind of dilute it a bit so they can pour it. But yeah, Elmer's glue. That's what you're looking at when you look at a cereal commercial.
All right, here we go.
Mm.
Mac and me clip
No
ready.
wonder all
Oh God, we're gonna watch it. Okay,
Yeah, we're
do
gonna
it,
watch it.
Drayden. Do it. Everybody, be quiet.
It's on Conan, so you get the laugh track.
Oh, I can't see it. Oh, here we go. Can't hear the audio, dude. Or no, I'm dumb. Never mind. Oh my God, there was Ant-Man. Ant-Man made an appearance.
It was a thing where
I've
they,
never seen that meme.
no, it was a thing. It was a clip from a Conan episode where Ant-Man had just come out, and Conan was like, "You're not gonna show that stupid Mac and me clip, are you?" He was like, "No, I wouldn't." He's like, "You say that every time, and I don't believe you." He's like, "No, it won't." And so he starts with an actual Ant-Man clip, and then as Ant-Man's running out of the ant tunnel and jumps, it transitions to that clip,
Cuts to the.
and then Ant-Man's at the end, and just Conan's face. Like, just look at Conan's face here.
There was a thing that
Like, he's
Paul
just like,
Rudd
"God
did
damn it,
on.
not again."
I'll have to. I think it was the Graham Norton show. Paul Rudd has this thing where he can take a photo of you with his camera and make it look like he is
Oh, yeah.
showing you his junk.
Fuck, how was he?
How does he do that?
Hold on. Okay, Drayden, you'll have to play this. It's 2.5 minutes long. I'm just gonna
Oh.
throw it in chat. Basically, he just kind of curves his finger around the camera lens in a certain way that makes it look like somebody is standing in front of the camera with their legs wide open and their pants down. It's really, I can't explain it. You just got to watch the video.
My fucking stupid video thing blacks it out.
Here we go.
Paul, in Ghostbusters, there are lots of very impressive special effects
You got it
and
pulled up?
visual effects.
Yeah.
But
There's a
you
delay, so there's a
yourself using a camera phone, you can create a visual effect.
I can.
Yes. Where it appears that people are seeing something they're not.
That's right.
Okay, can you demonstrate it?
Sure.
Good. Can I just say, you are all going to be trying this.
Yeah, this is. I can. I'll try it on you. That's
Okay, okay.
Okay.
What do I need to do?
Just sit there.
Okay.
This should be fine. All right. I think we can.
Do you know what he's doing?
Yes, I do. You will in a minute. You will in a minute.
I think it should be synced to.
Yeah, I think it's synced now. So here's the picture that you just took. So. It does look like a bomb. Miriam looks really confused.
Wow, Ron Howard.
What happened?
Oh, yes, do Miriam. There we go.
Are you doing it with your fingers?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What is that? It does look like a bottom.
Yes.
I want to do this to everybody at Eve Vegas.
So he's just like what? Just doing like a thing like.
He's just like he's cricking his finger in a certain way to make it look like.
That's
actually.
Look
Now that I think about it, my fingers are too skinny.
It's
like,
look at my camera. It's that. But
Hold on,
like
wait.
he's doing it in front of like.
yeah. I can't do it though. I just realized my fingers are too skinny.
Oh, but yeah, like that. Damn, I didn't know I had an ass on my fingers.
We all have asses on our hands.
I don't think I can do it either. Goddamn.
It's such a funny and like how the fuck did he discover that? How the fuck do you discover?
Probably taking a picture. He's like probably blocking the sun. That happened. He's like,
how did
Hey,
you
man,
come up
had
with
to have been
that?
an accident.
There's the thing called marijuana.
No,
Where
I mean
sometimes you'll just
I
sit
know
by
there's
yourself and just do
listen.
silly things for
Listen.
just
This is
time.
I've had my share. So sorry.
I'm
hold on.
not trying to explain to you what it is or that it exists. I'm just saying I think that could be.
I would never in a million years think to curve my finger around my camera phone in such a way that it would look like I was looking at somebody through somebody else's ass.
Give yourself more credit than that. It's been less than a
That
million
is-
years.
How did
and
he
we
come up
crush
with it?
things with the fingers.
He
and
was.
we
I'm
block it.
convinced. I'm convinced he is the first person in the world to try that.
Well,
Nobody.
That makes sense.
No.
He
How?
wooed you. He wooed you. It's Paul Rudd.
I mean, it's Paul
he
Rudd.
convinced you of this.
Listen, I'm not gay, but Paul Rudd is Paul Rudd.
Of course. You don't have to say anything.
How the fuck did that guy come up with that? It's genius.
Kids in the Hall reference. I love Kids in the Hall.
Just like do a thing like every single picture in Vegas is that.
Oh my gosh. Look
Just
at what
make
Liz
like,
just posted.
just make a
in-
thing that
in-
you could stick over your camera on your phone, and that way it's
Liz.
just like you're just cute.
Liz, I'm gonna buy these and hand them out at Eve Vegas. This is the new Open Comm swag.
Just ass pics.
Just novelty squishy butts.
Novelty squishy butts.
They're peaches. They're not butts. They're peaches. Come on now. Turn them upside down. They're peaches.
Gotcha.
Um,
Delicious.
and nutritious.
I don't know the nutritional facts behind peaches. I'm just expressing the
let's see.
taste.
There's a couple more Eve things before we go.
Do we have more Eve stuff to talk about? What happened?
We got 25 minutes. So
Hey, yeah, we do. I just closed the fucking window. Perfect. The last paragraph of the dev blog talked about infrastructure upgrades, which is super interesting because I find that interesting.
Yes.
I would assume
Same.
server upgrades are in the future. So neat.
Yeah.
Now that
Cat's
the,
going to be more stable.
Always,
the transistor shortage is
always good
going
to
away.
future-proof Eve.
That's where our sub money's going. Stick
All
some more
that
blade-
$20.
To,
Stick
I
some
was
more
gonna say-
blades in it.
to pay
I think
extra.
it was during FanFest they talked about the server hardware, right? And they talked about how they tried the AMD EPYC server chips for a little while, and they were like, it was the best.
I vaguely
But it
remember
was
this.
too expensive to keep doing, so they went to quote unquote something else. Well, I probably back to Intel. Maybe they can go back to AMD EPYC. I don't know.
That sounds cool.
Wow, because like Epics are stupid cheap compared to
No
Xeons.
fucking way. You guys.
Now what?
Liz, bless your MFing heart.
Why?
Guys,
Tiny Dick homies, hit me up.
Oh, is that what it is?
there's a tiny dick coloring book. Rain.
What?
Rain, we need you in here. Rain, you have to do this coloring book on stream.
Do you need,
Rain,
like-
if you're still in the chat, holy fuck, that's a long link. I apologize. I am going to buy this. I'm buying
Big
it right now.
Adventures of Tiny Dick. That's pretty.
Holy shit. This is beautiful.
Is
I
that,
don't know what they're talking about. That thing looks huge.
Wait, is that Baby Dick from?
It's not baby dick.
Oh,
No, it's Tiny Dick.
It's tiny dick.
Yeah, it's Tiny
Okay.
Dick. I clearly said
I was
It's
gonna
grown
say.
up a little bit.
Do you need like extra sharpened
cold.
coloring pencils to like?
Oh,
be able
extra
to-
small pencils. Yeah, very sharp pencils to color in the tiny dick. While I'm ordering
Goodness
that,
gracious.
I'm gonna throw some other shit in
It's
my
$5,
cart.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, like why not? $5 for a tiny dick coloring book, dude. I'm there.
And the sub caption is you don't have to be big to do great things.
Damn
Which is a
straight.
great
Damn
message for
straight. That's
everyone.
a great
Rain-
lesson
wait,
for
Rain,
children
that's
to
a
learn.
family
Wait,
friendly.
did I miss it? Did Rain raid us?
Did Rain rate us?
No, she said raiding.
I didn't think she was streaming.
Well, she's not streaming.
Rain, you
Welcome,
liar.
Rain.
We've been at about 30 the entire time.
Rain's a liar. She knows it.
I've heard that about her.
She's a notorious liar.
She's the worst.
But
She's
adorable.
literally
The
the
worst.
Oh my God.
Did you guys hear about the summer of streams?
I did not.
No.
It's a bunch of streams they're going to have. So the week of 11 to 17 July, which is the week coming up here,
Coming in hot.
there's going to be a team security review devlog. Neat. So if you want to learn about how bots get banned and RMT and stuff like that, that's going to be interesting. Mimitar Liberation Day. There's going to be a CCP TV stream for that. And then next week is another security Q&A on Discord. And then there's going to be the next week an Eve player data dev blog and CCP TV stream. And some topics upcoming in August. The State of the Union, Factional Warfare, and Frontlines. You might want to tune in for that one. The Future of Heraldry and Interbus. Also interesting. Retrospective on the Siege Green update. Eve Evolved, UI past and present. Status of the first arc and narrative. Oh, that's going to be interesting, right? Because the first arc is already running. Are you guys tracking that?
It is currently running. They said there's bits about it. Basically, they're not talking about it. They want players to discover it for themselves.
Right. And there's
It's
been
something
like
to do with like the cloak structure and anatotata or what, I don't know how the system
Yeah.
name is, but
and there's like little video clips that people are discovering in wrecked Kaldari ships.
interesting.
sounds
Like,
like a
legit
FanFest,
video clips,
presentation.
or is it
Wait,
like an
wait,
item
yeah.
called a video clip?
It sounds
No,
like a
it's a
lineup for
legit-
like FanFest or something.
That sounds kind of cool. That's
It's a
something they've
legit
never really
video
done.
clip.
Yeah,
Like,
actually,
One of the clips I saw was people had boarded the cloak structure, and it looked like a first person shooter scene. So I don't know. The crazy part of me is saying that they're going to use the arc
We're
to
about to see the
also
sync up.
announce the new
Oh, you're totally
FPS.
right. You're
Yeah.
totally right.
Right. So that's
This
interesting.
is a vague allusion, not illusion, but allusion to the FPS. It has to be. Yeah.
Right. So I think they have to have heard all the Dust players be so upset about losing Dust, and then the weird thing about the project fucking Nova where nobody really liked it and it didn't really tie in with Eve at all. I think maybe it's taken so long to create an FPS because they're trying to tie it into the Eve universe, and this is probably one of the ways by using the arc and the narrative stuff to do that.
Valamir says there's 40 videos and not all of them are in the game yet.
Boom.
I don't know.
If they're not all in the game, how do you know there's 40 of them?
Hobo leaks.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I'm dumb.
I don't know how many people played Dust. I played a decent little bit.
It was fun.
I
never explored the Eve Dust interaction from like, there was planetary bombardment or whatever that you could do from in the game. I never played.
That was really the only interaction. There was that, and there was chat channels. So if you went in the local, and there was Dust players on the planets, you could set your local so that you could see the Dust players and you could chat with them and stuff.
It was tied into faction warfare, wasn't it?
So yes. And you could planetary bombard your enemies' planets and whatever. There was reasons to do it, but I never did that with my in-game presence versus my Dust presence. But it was actually just it was a fun, just not super over-the-top shooter. And I thought it had plenty of legs. But yeah.
Speaking of other Eve projects.
CCP projects?
Eve, about Valkyrie turning off?
Valkyrie and Spark and Gunjack.
Gunjack.
I was going to say Gunfire, Gunshot.
They also have Project M5 out there.
Project M5?
I don't know what that is.
I've never heard of this.
I need to be careful about what I talk about with it because I'm actually in the beta for it. But it's the mobile game that they talked about at FanFest. They sent out an invite to...
so that's upcoming. We're talking about ones that are turning off.
Oh,
yeah.
So
you've let the cat out of the bag now. Clap them cheeks, drop them leaks. Let's fucking go.
No,
I think you're just prophesizing. Then is that game gonna fail?
They sent out invites to some, not everyone, but some people in the community got invites to join it, and you had to actually sign an NDA to be able to beta play the game.
I spoke to a couple alliance mates talking about that. Yeah,
I've been playing with it. Honestly, it's not a bad toilet game.
Whoa,
toilet game?
I mean, toilet
games are important.
Have you ever had your legs fall asleep if you just hang out too long?
All the time.
Have you ever collapsed in your bathroom when you got up?
No.
All I'll say about it is
because I have that one time, and now I don't just sit there and play games ever on the toilet. I'll read a little bit of Reddit, but I won't just sit there and play games.
All I'll say about it is exactly what CCP said about it, which is it's just a 4X strategy game for mobile set in the Eve universe.
That's kind of fun.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, Caldari Prime.
Tamber with the gifted subs, man.
Oh, and also I missed it. Rayo. That's right. Rayo resubbed, and fuck, who was the other one? Oh, Tamber resubbed. Yeah, so.
LB, get LB to Vegas. We know Drayden's going.
Keep singing that song.
Well, remember we started the petition.
Our letters will fall upon open ears.
That's really what we actually spent the last 2 weeks while LB was gone, was the opportunity to start getting the petition off the ground that we're going to send to Mr. Trudeau.
Yeah, well, and I was actually doing, I don't know if, do you guys call them MPs there? I don't know if basically your members of Congress. I've been trying on the lower levels. No, also those. That's an MP as well. I'm talking about his local politician, or more lower level local politicians. That's where I've started.
What does MP stand for again? It's
Member of Parliament.
Member of Parliament. That's right. It's
Minister Prime.
Sure.
Minister Prime.
But not the Prime Minister, obviously. That's
No, that's a different title.
Right. That's PM.
That's the PM.
What have you been doing?
Just trying to get you some, just a little bit of window of free time.
Please do not contact the Canadian government in any way, shape, or form.
No, we're doing it, dude.
Wait a minute.
Dude, I
was got a pretty cool government.
LB, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. When you do show up to Vegas, you realize you are going to be the guest of honor, right? Like at the open comms, at the open cabana, you are going to be the fucking guest of honor.
I have bought a lot of short shorts, so I should be good for the cabana.
Hell yeah. Nah, you're going to be just chilling in the hot tub, got your cup of soup, just everything ready to roll.
Just eating your soup at the
I
hot tub.
am
Soup,
so
imagine-
ready for that.
imagine
Nothing
all
better
of
than
us in a hot
day
tub.
In a hot tub with a hot bowl of soup.
Just a
Fucking
bunch of
perfect.
cup of soups. Like it's everyone's just like,
imagine
are you eating cup of soup in the hot tub?
I want you.
Soup
I want you
gang.
all to go on this journey with me.
Soup
Imagine,
gang.
imagine a bunch of Eve nerds in a hot tub, all eating cups of soup.
You know there'd
Dude,
be
I just want to be
Delicious
eating
French
tomato
onions.
soup out of a bowl.
You
in
know
a
there'd
hot
be
tub.
squiggly ramen
Not a bowl.
noodles.
People be
I'm
like,
talking
"What?"
like little shitty cardboard cup.
Yeah, like the cup of soups. Like there'd
Okay.
be squiggly ramen noodles floating in that hot tub
Oh,
with like
wow.
some random pieces of corn and. like,
I've already
freeze-dried
decided.
Carrot.
First thing
Brains
after
falls
I
up.
check in, I'll fly into Vegas on Wednesday for Vegas this year. First thing I'm doing after I check in is going, because I'm staying at Plaza, I'm going across the street and I'm going to go get a fucking bowl of that French onion soup.
Damn
Yeah.
straight.
Day one. Day one.
Is
It's
is
like,
everything probably like a ridiculous price level because that whatever music festival shit?
I mean, it's
I know it probably
No,
was.
Vegas is
no,
always
so
overpriced.
in 2021, EDC was on the same weekend as Vegas, but that
No,
is
there's a
not
new one.
normal.
There's
Oh, is there a
some
different
other
one now?
fucking shit.
Well,
with
There's
like,
always something
I mean,
going
yeah,
on.
it was
and I
like,
don't-
this year it's the Live,
emo bands
Laugh,
and shit.
Love.
I thought it was the when we were
I don't
young
think that's-
or whatever.
When we were young, yeah.
I don't think that's going to bring the kind of numbers that EDC does, though. Like EDC,
No, it's not. I
EDC
don't
is
think
fucking
so.
huge.
I just feel like I
Um,
heard that it like kind of fucked the hotel prices, which sucks.
I think
mean,
the hotel
people
prices
like
just
me
got
can't-
fucked because of.
commit
October is just
right
like
away.
one of the busiest months for Vegas in general because the weather's so nice. Like you're
Well,
not.
that's
you're not
terrible.
dying.
And I blame Hyper Viper.
Yeah, hotels
You
are
heard
so
it.
expensive.
What's
now.
going to be
Said it.
interesting though is 2023 FanFest is going to be happening relatively close to when Vegas would normally be happening.
Yeah, FanFest next year is in September, which is
September, yeah.
really unusual.
I'm actually really happy about that though because that gives me some time to actually stash up the money to potentially go because I'd love to make it for the 20 year.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna,
I've never been
I
to FanFest
totally, I
myself.
definitely want to go for the 20-year.
I'm just gonna have to hope that. I mean, Dom said I could stay with him. I think he stayed at the jockeys as well. So
Yeah, a bunch of us are staying at Jockeys,
yeah,
which
Like,
is
I
it's
don't
like
know
right
if I'll be
across
able
the
to get my-
street
I don't know if I'll
from
be able to
where
get my own
officially
thing,
it's
but
being
if-
held.
I think he said I would be able to stay with him, so I might be able to stay with Dom and his jockey thing. So we'll see.
I don't know. I'll look up their laws on like sleeping in your car, and then I'll just get a rental car.
No, no, Drayden, you have a room. If it's not Dom, if it's not whoever, like what, you got a room.
But if you take all the seats out of a Dodge Grand Caravan, it's like a hotel.
So I drive a 4Runner traditionally anyway, and there's plenty of space in the back of that thing, dude. I'm not gonna drive it to
This
Vegas.
is my
'cause
chair. It's a
rough shape
Dodge
and it needs some
Caravan chair.
transmission work, but
Well,
Drayden,
so
do you remember that video?
No. Wait, which one?
right out for
Hold on, I got it.
I'll say
I'm gonna put it in Tito's.
Dom said I could stay with him. Liz also said I could stay at her house. She lives quite a ways away from the strip, so I don't know if because I think the amount
That's the
of money
mistake I
I'd be
made last year.
I think the amount of money I'd be spending on Ubers back and forth to Liz's place
No,
would probably
dude,
be
like-
about the same as just getting a room. So
You've got a room where if
yeah,
if you
3
can't,
miles. That's
you
a
can't pay
bit,
for it.
But
Listen,
like I
we'll
said,
make it work.
I think Dom's at
That's-
Jockey Club, and he said that I could stay with him. So I'm just kind of planning.
We'll
Dom
make it
said-
work.
Dom said they have
That's-
those
so
little balconies there too, and that I could stay on the balcony.
And here's the thing: they
Dude,
have the
they've
kitchen.
got kitchens.
They have
Yeah,
the kitchen at Jockey Club. I'm gonna make a soup. So,
fucking A.
dude, I'm gonna make and here's the thing: I'm gonna make the zuppa toscana soup that Olive Garden has, and that is a gluten-free soup, Rain. So,
Yo.
you can eat that too. And
Can I say, speaking of
I
Olive
made
Garden,
and I know it's gluten-free because I made this same soup recipe for my cousin who has really, really, really severe celiacs, and she was able to eat it and she was fine. So, it's delicious. Although
Who's making breakfast?
it's a little spicy, so I'll make it less spicy because I know Rain says black
the
pepper is too
fucking
spicy. So this
hash house in the plaza has great breakfast.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
There's some
That
place.
that was good hangover food.
Was it? I think Peppermill on the Strip also has great breakfast. I went there with Mace one day.
I respect the fact that you guys make an effort to get up in any sort of like shape or form for breakfast? Like,
Well, I mean, it's like
I mean,
11
it's like
o'clock
11
in the
a.m.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Any breakfast place worth its salt is going to sell breakfast.
yeah, it's not like we're
3
waking up at the ass
at
crack
least.
of dawn for Eve Vegas.
I was like, from what I've heard, that sounds like a feat. So like, more power to you if you're finding some good breakfast like during that trip.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
no,
you
I,
also sometimes maybe go for breakfast at 3, 4 a.m. and then go pass out.
yeah, I was
That sounds
saying,
about right.
man.
Yeah.
I was saying,
That sounds
And then get up again for
I like
second
cooking.
breakfast.
So now, do those kitchens they come with like they have all the
11s.
pots and pans, all that, they have all that stuff there, right? I'm assuming.
You probably have, there's probably one pan. You
Really?
probably
Oh, you
get
have to
one pan
bring
and a
your own?
spatula. I'll bet you have to bring your own stuff.
A pot that you can.
I don't know,
like,
dude. Well,
some
honestly,
I
sauce.
don't
like,
think if
call-
it's a communal kitchen, I would think they have like just communal
Call
dishes. You're just
the
expected to
Jockey
wash
Club
them.
and ask.
I'll ask Dom.
It's
'cause he
the
goes there all
Jockey
the time.
Club is apparently like one of the oldest like privately owned establishments on the strip. Like,
I feel like if it's a big communal kitchen area, they don't expect you to bring a kitchen's worth of like cooking
No,
stuff.
no,
So
but
I would
in-
think
in
that
your
there's, like,
room, you
communal
probably get
dishes
the
and you're just
basics.
expected to wash them when you're done, which would be fine. But I was like, I like cooking, so like I mean, like I could even do like breakfast stuff. I could make omelets and shit in the morning, or whenever we wake up.
dude,
10,
just
10,
give
11.
me a giant plate of hash browns and bacon. That's all I want.
Hell yeah.
Where's the Jockey Club in relation to like the
I think
main
it's by
stuff
Cosmo.
It's like right across the street from where officially, quote unquote, officially, the event is being held
Yeah,
this year.
it's either in Cosmo
Right.
or right next to the Cosmo,
I think
which
it's
is across the street from Planet Hollywood. So
Yeah.
I was just talking about like in relation to Fremont, but
Oh, it's like
I'm not
it's,
familiar
it's
with
a-
Vegas,
it's a
so
ways.
it's on the main strip, so it's by like Caesars and Bellagio and Planet Hollywood and
wow.
Cosmo. It's like on that section of Main Strip. Fremont Street's like 2 or 3 miles north of that. So
miles. Wow.
it's like a couple miles north. Like
Yeah, there's
the main
yeah.
strip is like a.
I want to
kinda
say
like
it's
a-
maybe
a north.
2 miles, 3 at the most.
Yeah, the main strip's
I
like a
see
north
something
and
called
south
Fremont Street
and then
Experience.
Fremont
Yeah,
Street.
okay, I see it.
Fremont Street's east to west. So yeah.
That looks like walking distance, but it's easy to say that
It's,
when
I,
you're
I,
looking at
it's,
Google
It's
Maps.
not.
It's like a mile and a half to 2 miles. It's you could walk it, but
Am I
it's
likely to get
You're
mugged?
gonna walk half
my
an hour.
my
No,
my
you
my,
shouldn't get
my
mugged.
friend that lives in Vegas, he told me that even when you're standing on the strip, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, looks like I can walk down to Fremont," and he said, "Don't do it. Just don't
yeah,
do it."
it would be like a 45-minute walk probably.
Oof.
And there is some rougher areas that you pass through, or like
There-
right on the edges of going
I
there.
have a,
So
I have a
Yeah,
story
like-
from
it's
2018.
like during the day
It's
you
funny.
don't have to worry about getting mugged, but I would recommend maybe not walking that far at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Hey, look at this fuck Akaroth. What a dumbass. Let's get him.
I've walked
Like,
around it.
I just like to walk sometimes when I'm
I-
drunk.
I'm just saying, like you think like Vegas is like the you know like oh man, it's just shit going on all hours of the night. But it's like I've been walking around because when I get drunk sometimes I'm like I want to go on a walk and I
go
do
on
it.
walks.
And I'm telling you, like even as a dude, which is not as dangerous. Like if
You're
I
a
was a chick,
giant.
if I was a woman, I would recommend just don't walk around Vegas past like 3 a.m. in the morning ever, unless you're with people. Like that just.
What is this, Saudi
And I'm
Arabia?
saying like just me as a dude walking around, even on the main strip at like 4 in the morning, is really fucking sketchy. There's like almost no one about, and the few people that you do pass by, you're just like, and you get by them, you're like, cool, didn't get fucking mugged. Like it's really sketchy when it gets that late, even on the main strip. So yeah.
Fair enough. Last time I was in Vegas was over 10 years ago for sure. So I don't have any great like landmark knowledge or anything.
In 2018, eVegas 2018, I was looking for a dispensary, and I found the nearest one to the strip, the nearest one to where I was.
Dispensary for what, like Tylenol or like
Yeah, it's
ibuprofen?
some herbal remedy.
Oh, like
Ricola,
ginger and thyme.
Ricola.
The devil's lettuce.
Yeah. So Google Maps told me it would be a 5-minute walk. I'm like, shit, yeah, dude, I'll walk 5 minutes, no big deal. Turned out to be a 20-minute walk. And when I got there and I made my purchase, I was like, there's no fucking way I'm walking back. So I called an Uber, and the guy picks me up. And I was like, yeah, I walked here. The Google Maps said it would be a 5-minute walk. He's like, you walked here? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you walked through one of the most dangerous neighborhoods. Like, don't do this again. It was like, and it was only like 11 midnight, like late, but not Vegas late. He was like, yeah, dude, do not ever walk through this neighborhood at night again. I'm like, he cut me off mid-sentence. He's like, you walked here?
And here I am thinking like 20-minute walk. Like what the hell, man? Like that's
Yeah,
nothing,
even
you know,
a 20-minute walk is no big deal.
I'm
But
catching
when,
a little air.
when Google tells me
whatever.
it's 5 minutes, I believe it's 5 minutes.
I do it less often because like the thing is like I was always naive because I mean around here like when I used to live in Coeur d'Alene, it's like you can fucking walk around Coeur d'Alene like.
Yeah,
I mean,
walking around drunk at night
there's
is
always
fun.
a
I don't care
technical
what you say.
risk, but it's like I mean, I was able to walk around downtown or anywhere, it doesn't matter what time of night, and it's like you're gonna be fine. I mean, and so I get to like these big cities, like when I went to Minneapolis, that I actually did get mugged in Minneapolis, and then Vegas and stuff. I just like walk around. It's like big city metropolitan areas in the middle of the night are a little bit more sketchy and creepy than rural smart town, like smaller town Idaho, I guess.
I used to do, I guess, a Dominarch maneuver, and like my old roommate, my best friend, and I would like bicycle through Houston in the middle of the night because like Houston did not. It had somewhat of a nightlife, but it was very focused. And Houston is a huge sprawling city, so like you could ride through like downtown like skyscraper area with little regard to lights on a bicycle. Like at night, it just died well enough. And so you'd like pop in like one earbud or something and like leave the other one free so you're not just like not hearing vehicles, and you would just ride through the city late at night. We'd go, find one of those dispensary products or something, and we'd ride bikes. And there was one time, and we'd ride through some sketchy neighborhoods. Houston has that. And there was one time where these buildings had like a little bit of a split between them. Like they were built where they just didn't like match walls. They gave it like maybe a few foot gap, but like at the opening, I felt like it was like 2 feet or less. It had a weird wedge between two buildings. And this dude fucking like made a noise and then ran out at us while we were riding bikes. And we were like, what the fuck was that? We never got mugged or anything. And I did go through some semi-sketchy situations that worked out fine, but I don't know. I had fun going through towns and big cities drunk. And like, come on. It'd be fine. I'm going to be 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I'll be drunk. So like, what are they going to do?
What are they going to do? Kill you?
Exactly. I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof, bro.
Isn't that a song, Bulletproof?
I have no idea. That's a phrase my old man uses for like when you're
That's a
stupid drunk.
song. That's like a
when you make bad
Rihanna song.
decisions.
Or no, wait.
Sure.
A bullet. It's Titanium. I'm thinking of Titanium.
Is that a song?
I am titanium. I'm bulletproof. Nothing to lose. Come on, guys. Come on now. You know the words.
Where's this from?
I don't know that song.
You know that song, you
Is Titanium
fuckers.
bulletproof? I know it's lightweight.
Oh, I know that song.
It's kind of
I'll tell you
expensive.
why. Make
Not
a
uncommon,
man out of you.
Is that Mulan?
It's
Dude,
the same thing, right?
I was at the
Wait, are you
skating
singing
rink.
the Mulan song?
I was at the skating rink today, and I
Let's
asked him to
get
play
down
that song,
to
and
I love
they did it.
business.
Let's get down to business.
So wait,
To
is that a
defeat
Mulan song?
That's
The
from
Titanium
Mulan.
thing?
That's like
Uh-huh.
the
Mulan
song
song,
from Mulan.
I don't
That's
remember
the one
any of
that
the part about Titanium.
That's the one that. No.
That's what I'm
Are
asking.
you
I'm like,
you
is that
fucking trolling? You're fucking trolling.
You
I swear
shut
to you,
your
if
mouth.
that's- if that's
Shut
a
shut your
culture
troll
song,
mouth.
I don't know what it is. I heard the other line.
No, wait. Okay. It's David
thought Charles-
Guetta
Do we have to-
featuring Sia. Sia and Rihanna
Ooh.
sound like the same person to me.
Sometimes.
We should all do when we do karaoke.
That
in
sounds
Vegas,
fun.
We should
You should
all
link
like
me
do
that.
like every single person in the room get up and we should all just like a cappella as a group
Dude,
sing.
I am-
Let's sing
Half of the reason I go to
Make a
E
Man
Vegas
Out of-
is for
what's-
karaoke night.
What's it called? Make a man out of you? What's that song? The movie?
I'll
the Mulan
make
one.
a man.
No, I don't know what it's
out of
technically
you.
called, but like, yeah, we should all
think
just
you're right, though. I think
everyone in the
that's-
room just
yeah.
do that. Just
Let's get down to
to
business to
to
defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons?
I would need the lyrics.
What am I doing?
I was trying to change my voice for the song, but all of my
My priest.
Sets are fucking weird.
That's fun.
Never mind.
Tripping out.
But yeah, send me that other song though. I'm a sucker for like clubby beats, and Sia has like an amazing. voice.
I just posted it in chat.
Oh, okay, thanks.
It's a good one. Yeah, Vlad's got the playlist that will make me like, holy what? This is music. Somebody produced this.
So
No,
I don't-
Vlad's got some awesome taste in music.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I just figured out the camera. It's like when my camera gets, it takes a while, and then it just gets choppy. And I turn my camera off and turn it back on, and it's fixed. It's not my CPU. I checked my CPU. My
Suspicious.
CPU is running at like 30%. So it's not that overworking.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. And like everything else was lower. Like my graphics was like 10%, and then everything was like super low. So fucking Windows 98.
I'm actually gonna head out. I'm gonna head out early tonight. I'm meeting up with some other alliance mates that are happening to visit in the area. So,
All right, bro.
You guys have a good night.
Wait, what just happened? Hello? Oh no. Wait.
Now, so
What just
it
happened?
was nice knowing everybody.
Drayden, Manic is hijacking and shutting down the show.
Yeah, well, it's after 9 o'clock. We're in the after show right now. So thank you, everybody, for joining Open Comms.
Why did
This
go
is
to this
the end
size?
of the show. I'm going to put together a song to play us out.
You so fucking precious when you.
Thank you for watching Open Comms. Good night, everybody. Be sure to tip your waitress.
Wait, what? Why? What just happened? What just happened to Discord?
What are you talking about?
Nothing happened to Discord.
Oh, my
Discord's
Discord
fine.
wigged out. It like
Mine did earlier. Mine
as soon
restarted
as-
like
as
it
soon
was
as
like
Sky-
a good update. Or something.
Although Skyak didn't even leave. He just when Skyak closed his camera, my Discord just went black screen.
I want to believe.
It wasn't even just the like Discord just went black, and then eventually it all came back, and then my camera's off, and then it resized the window back to.
And now we're here.
Full
We're
screen. And
back.
Now we're here.
We're back, baby. And better than ever.
And now something different.
And now for something
Hey,
completely
don't
different.
forget Mimitar Liberation Day.
Ayo!
Some sort of events are associated with this event.
Breaking news! Minmatar Liberation Day!
Log
There's
in and get
parades.
skills and skill points.
There's login rewards. You can pick a thing, and I don't know. It's Liberation Day, same as last year.
Wow. Wow.
They even used the same video.
I heard
It was a
about
good video, but they used the same video.
Fucking CCP, they can't make another video.
Well, so funny
Fucking
thing for that
lazy.
though.
It's a really good video.
I was gonna say funny thing for that is a lot of people have been like, "That's the best video CCP ever
It
put out."
is.
And they were probably
It is
like,
damn
"You
good.
guys want to just put out that video that everybody loved?"
I mean, it's not the best video they've ever made. It's the best one of the 4 factions that
Sure,
had
sure.
days.
Yeah.
It got a lot of praise last year. I do remember that.
It did. 'Cause
Manic was
there's,
just like,
there's fucking
this
Viking
was
music
dirty.
in it.
Are you saying I was down on the video, dude?
You were down on that video.
I was not down on that video. That video was the best of the
No,
4
I
of them
was-
that they put out. The Minmatar one is by far the best. There was no
making-
contest.
I made like a slight like noise and gesture for like going down on it, and I thought we were on the same page on that.
Oh, you were doing a thing, and
Yeah.
sorry, I
I
didn't
thought
pick it
you
up.
were like,
I'm
you
sorry.
were seeing I
I'm
was
sorry.
going down on that
Damn
video,
it.
and I was like, yeah, you were sucking off that
Oh,
video.
yeah,
You
Damn it.
loved that video.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
you
that
were real vocal about how much you
which
liked
was
that
weird
video. I
because
just
like all the other videos were kind of just like
Brother, this guy stinks!
all the other videos were like they weren't bad, but they were just like narrations with some like weird
Yeah.
shots and stuff. But then the Mimitar
The
one,
Minmatar one
the
got you
Mimitar
pumped,
one,
man.
dude. The Mimitar
Everybody
one
liked-
felt like a trailer to a movie or something. You're just like, I'm ready for. Oh my god! Like when he's like, dude, it, like
You would have
pumps
thought it was
up
like a
and,
lore release.
Yeah, it's
some
like
big event
it's like
or
a
something.
lore thing. It felt like an expansion release video. It's like it builds you up. And he's like, "We are the 7 tribes
Why
of Matar.
do
We
you
are
build me up?
Matar." Then you get the high low like, "Oh no, wait, whoa, here, whoa, here, whoa." But it's like,
Mess me around.
oh my god! It's like the ships are coming up over top, and it's like, fucking A.
Cause I love you still. I need you. I need you. I don't want anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup.
Buttercup,
Don't break my heart.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That's my favorite sound effect, by the way. God, I love that.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. Sorry, Liz. When the Discord fucked up, for some reason last week. Oh no, I know why it was. I made the screen bigger to like just do the whole because there was more than 6 cams. But
He was being
instead
size
of me
queen
just
last week.
like clicking the maximize button and doing it that way, I decided like, oh no, I'll just drag the window bigger. But I had the window set to a certain size for the specific window capture spots. And so that fucked everything up. But then when Discord fucked up, it reset back to that size, so I had to resize everything again.
What?
This is a cautionary tale to anyone who
Just
wants it
resize
bigger.
the Discord window. It's because fucking Windows 98.
What?
Hearing is Drayton has size problems.
Yeah, you just
He was
don't,
struggling with it.
You just don't know the size.
You know what they
that
say
you
about tall
need.
guys. You know what they say about tall guys. Come on, come
I
on.
got big
Long
Discords.
pants.
I was just thinking the same thing.
We
Long
have
pants.
we have great difficulty finding
have
pants
too
that
big-
I've heard it's a
fit.
huge
We have
struggle.
too big of Discords and not big enough screen captures.
Oh, that's fair.
Is that what it is?
I mean, I've heard that, but
That's what
only
they say,
now.
right?
Like
Oh.
now that you said it, I've heard that. So I want to agree with you in like a nice positive way and be like, I've heard that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's what they say. Shots. I don't know. What
Windows
shots.
98 was good. You speak the truth.
Dude, I actually liked Windows 98. I had SE.
That's right.
I don't know if that was very different from the original. But
Second edition, no big deal.
It was.
Some refinement.
yeah, so I went from I had Windows 3.1. That was the first
God, how
Windows I
old
used.
are we?
Windows 3.1 was like, holy shit, it's so good. And then Windows 98 comes around, and you're just like just blown away. You're like, oh my god, it's so good. And then Windows.
Did you go straight from
or-
3.1 to 98?
No, sorry, 95. So
95, sure.
3.1 to 95, and then 95 to 98 SE. And then I had
On your brand new gateway or whatever.
No,
the fuck
it-
might have been.
the-
It was just, I'm just trying to think of the company.
the
You had a compact, you had an HP, you
compact.
had a gateway.
Yeah, it was a
Let's
compact.
see.
No, we had a compact. So the 98 SE, and then I apparently had the great fortune of being able to skip ME. I
Yeah,
went.
there you go.
I had SE all
My
the way
dad
up
had it
until
on his laptop and
XP.
he
So I went 98 SE to XP. So I skipped all the I
Ooh,
skipped Windows
XP.
2000. I skipped ME. I skipped all that garbage. I just went from like the good one to the next good one. And then I had XP all the way up until 7. And then 7 I went to 8.1. And apparently people hated that. But 8 I guess sucked. But 8.1 you could at least very quick option to like set it to look like normal Windows instead of the garbage that 8 was.
The
8.1
tile
was
system
okay.
or whatever.
Yeah, so 8.1 had it's like it has the 8 infrastructure, but you can make it work and look like Windows 7 essentially. You're like, yeah, I want that. So I did that for a long time, and then I was way late at the party and getting into Windows 10.
I don't even know if I have 10 yet. It was badgering me about updating for a while, but I don't remember where I'm at now.
Yeah, no, I
It's funny that we used to think
Wait.
about what version of Windows we are and
Wait.
updates and things, and I don't even know what
I think
I'm
I'm on.
now.
I accidentally said yes.
You're
to
sitting
upgrading.
at your computers right now. You can
man,
you
I
can
can-
solve this problem.
Man, I can find out, but when I'm saying the statement, I will admit that I don't know.
Oh,
what
look at
version of
Vlad.
Windows
He's
is
still
on.
using
Okay.
3.1. He said 3.1.
I'm gonna
He's
do a
still on
DX
3.1.
Of course, Vlad is still on 3.1.
I'm gonna do a DX diag real quick and see if it tells me what version of Windows I am on, because I think it will.
How do you even get the network going with that, Vlad? Like,
Yeah.
do you even know what a network
How do
is
you get
back then?
Wi-Fi?
So I accidentally upgraded to Windows 11. I think it popped up like, "Do you want to upgrade?" I was like, "I don't know what this is." Fucking yes. And then it's like, and my whole computer started upgrading. I'm like, "What have I done?"
You're like, no.
Because I've always done the whole thing like every time a new Windows comes out, it's like 50-50 chance of it being like just fucked up and buggy.
At least
and
garbage for a while.
Yeah, they eventually fix it, but it's like
Right.
I don't like being right at the beginning of like jumping on stuff like that. So it's like I saw myself right when I'm like, I haven't seen any reviews on this site. Like, am I going into like, have I just shot myself in the foot? Apparently not. It seems to be just like Windows 10 as far as I can tell.
So I'm on 10 apparently, and I don't know if I was on 8.1 or 7.1 before, because my laptop's not terribly old, but I just remember I resisted all the fucking notification pop-ups ages, and they were like, "It's free, do it." Do you want it? It's free. You
I've
could still do
never
it for
gotten a
free
Windows
for a short
11
time.
pop-up.
Well, I don't think it was for 11. I'm on 10, but I'm just at some point I either inadvertently clicked something or it just gave me a pop-up that it was like, we're not asking anymore or something, and it restarted and everything, and and now I'm on 10. So I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. It reacts the same as it did before.
I can see
think
the
I was on
pop-up.
8 maybe.
So
I can see the pop-up being like, "Listen, fucker, it's time. Just click OK. There's no cancel button. You're upgrading."
So this is why I waited so. Go ahead, Eckroth. I thought you were done.
Just real quick, my Asus, I'm on an Asus laptop, and it has a pop-up that's like, we have Asus updates. You can either snooze this for 10 minutes, 4 hours, or some other option. And I always go with the 4 hours because I'm like, yeah, tell me about this later. I don't
10
care
minutes
right now.
or 4 hours.
Those are the intervals, and I did this for months on whatever the fucking update was. I don't pay attention to updates because at this point in time, we've come so far in computers that you can fly with a dysfunctional computer for so long and just be fine. Whereas back in the day, you had to really actually kind of give in and like fix your shit in various ways. It was
because
it was for the
it's
best.
not like your computer suddenly stops working.
Right.
You lose support
then it
for
was
the
for the
old
best.
software that you're using.
Yeah, I'm really bad at updates. I generally update my Windows about once every 4 or 5 months.
So I was hitting 4 hours for months, at least a few months on this fucking Asus update. Because when I'm not at my computer, I don't care, and when I am at my computer, I might see it every 4 hours, so I don't care. But those were the only options. I don't remember what the third option was, but I didn't want to like write off the update, so I think maybe the third option was like, maybe no, and I was like, like just put it off. At some point, you could drop down. It was a little drop down menu, 3 options. You could drop down on the 4 hours and click it, but it would default me to the 10 minutes, and I was like, is this a thing? Like, are they like not accepting my bullshit anymore? And like, after a certain period of time, you can only do 10 minutes. Like they're telling me I've got to update, and it got into my head that I was like, I don't know, like this feels kind of focused.
So I held off on the Windows.
It
10
shows the
upgrade for
option.
so
I
long.
click the option. It doesn't work.
So and this is why, and like the reason I stayed away from Windows 10 for so long, even after they fixed the BS with it, is because I had a really incredible coincidental thing happen that just made me think that it was Windows that fucked everything up. And so I just wanted to, I was like, Windows 10 fuck shit up. So I had 8.1, and then there's like, oh, the free upgrade. I ignored it for a little bit, and I was like, okay, it's been a while. People say it's better. And I upgraded to Windows 10. And it's like, I upgrade it, and I have it upgrade while I go to bed. I wake up the next day, and the internet's all fucked up. Like, it's buggy. It chops out. It's like I would have like fine internet, but then all of a sudden I would have like these moments of like 50% upload packet loss.
Packet loss.
Yeah, complete packet loss, like on the upload side for like 2 or 3 seconds at a time. Like it was like about every 3 or 4 minutes I would get this. I was like, dude, this didn't happen until I upgraded to Windows 10. Like, and I was like, this is fucked. And like, I tried calling the ISP. They said everything was fine, and like I was like, okay, so it's got to be Windows 10. I regressed back down to 8.1, but then I had the same thing going on, and I was just like, dude, did something fuck up on my computer? And I was like sitting there, and I had like the internet guys came out. They checked my all the connections, everything. Like everything was fine as far as you could tell, because they just run like a fucking Ookla speed test. Like it looks fine. It's like, yeah, okay, but if a second or two of upload packet loss is going on, that doesn't really show up on the speed test because it runs over like 30 seconds. It's like as long as most of that time is fine, it's going to look like good connection speeds, right? And so I was having all these issues, and for like a week or two, I was like, dude, Windows 10 is bullshit. And then they finally come out and they see that I guess like a squirrel had chewed on a line a bit, and we were getting a bunch of ingress, in the cable line out by the foot end or whatever, like by the apartment complex. That was like
a fucking squirrel, or they just said a squirrel. It could have been anything, but like there was chew marks on the line. They assume it was probably a squirrel because there's squirrels by the apartments. So it's like
it just happened to be like the night I upgraded to Windows 10. That's when something chewed on the fucking internet line out by the foot end box for like the whole complex, and most people didn't know about it because like, yeah, you have a little bit of upload loss here and there, but like if you're just like, you know, downloading or watching YouTube videos, like you have enough buffer that you would never even notice. It's like when you're actually doing gaming where like, you know, every second matters. That's the only time you would notice it. And so like I just attributed it to like Windows 10 being fucked up, and so I was just like, fuck that operating system. I reinstalled 8.1. I was just like, and then even after I found that out, I'm like, I don't even care. 8.1 works for me. I'm just gonna stick with this.
I'm probably mostly right anyway.
I was like, well, I was like, probably was just that, but I'm just like, you know what, this works for me. I don't need to upgrade. Fuck it. I just stuck with 8.1 for like another year and a half, and then I was like, okay. I had a Windows 10 disk. I'm like, all right, maybe I should, because I was gonna reformat my computer. I'm like, if I'm gonna do that, I might as well actually just put Windows 10 back on this thing.
I rocked XP as long as I rationally could. I had an aunt who was in education or whatever. They gave me like a college, like a corporate disk or whatever that you could just fucking perpetually install. So like for my builds, I would use it and like be able to keep XP. And then at some point I had a buddy who was like IT background, whatever, and he also gave me like some sort of corporate disk, and I rocked XP as long as I could on like custom builds for into the 2000s, well into the 2000s.
Remember Vista?
Oh,
yeah,
so Emmy and
yeah,
Vista, those are the
my last laptop.
Emmy and
both
Vista
were
was the
not
ones I skipped,
very well regarded.
I did not have to deal with Vista.
I experienced Vista. I did not experience Emmy. My dad raged.
I heard Emmy
about
was a hot pile of garbage.
My dad raged.
What about Vista though? It sounds like you had Vista, LB.
I had Vista, yeah. My mom. I
did
shouldn't
too.
say that. My mom's computer had Vista on it, and it was fucking garbage.
I would say Vista was not the like least functional thing I've ever interacted with or anything, but like it was definitely a low point for the Windows experience. I'll say that. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever, like I can imagine being ragey at a computer, and like I had Vista on one of my laptops for a few years, and it was like, it's not great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, in my opinion, it wasn't rage inducing. I've heard like stories of Emmy that were like rage inducing, like they just fucking missed the mark hard.
Dude, was it just like Y2K brain that built that? Like what was wrong with it?
I don't know exactly.
So I never actually did Emmy, but what was so bad about it?
I was young for Emmy. Like,
Was
I
it
mean,
just
I was
the user
around, but I was
interface,
like
or
12.
was it like the functionality was terrible?
A lot of the functionality with Emmy was kind of cut because a lot of it was based on the DOS shellcode, which was removed.
Oh.
So anything from like the 95, 98 era that used any of those system calls just completely broke and shat itself.
Oh, so it was like the transition windows that just became halfway fucked up because of the new, what would you call them, standards or whatever?
Well, not really, because like, so around that time frame, you had the 9X kernel and you had the NT-based kernel. The NT-based kernel turned into Windows 2000 and XP, Vista, etc., etc., etc. 9X was based on Windows 3.1, which got extensions and was built on top of DOS, and then they yanked all the DOS shit out.
DOS is old. Although it's funny because like DOS is so old and archaic, yet all our computers still have it. They're still like based on that down in the old, or maybe are they not anymore? Maybe they're not.
Not anymore. It's all been yanked out.
Oh, okay. I was like, I say that, but now I think about it, even when you're installing a new operating system on it, it's like you really don't have, you just have like your fucking BIOS now. You don't really have DOS shell anymore.
Yeah, you don't have any of the old DOS hangups anymore. All of that stuff was completely removed by the NT-based kernels.
Yeah, now you just have like DOS emulators or whatever it is. Or is it shell? Maybe that's what it is. Now there's a DOS shell.
I'm taking off. I'll see you guys
All
later.
right, see y'all.
Peace. Hey.
And then there were 4.
Bam.
That's an Agatha Christie reference.
Dun dun dun.
And I have a very off-color Fun fact about that, it's not very fun, but I won't say it on there.
This is the weirdest show.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault. We're all in this together. It's everybody's fault.
We all make it weird. We're all
Yeah,
It's
we all
everybody's
make it
fault.
weird. It's nobody's fault. It's all our faults.
Yeah.
Blame
It's
me.
like
I'm the outsider.
the thing is, like, I have this like mirrored. I can't mirror my camera because I have to mirror all of Discord, which would then mirror your guys' all backwards.
No, Drayden.
You don't want two of each of us?
We told you this. Mirror yourself in OBS.
Oh, that's right.
The
So I can actually have
screen grab of you in OBS,
that's
your camera
right.
view, apply a filter or flip that
But
horizontally.
that's the thing, is, like,
Oh,
but
I
then
see
if
what you're
the-
saying,
But then if
yeah.
the camera's changed and someone else is in
On
this
the
box
stream, he
later,
is
then they'll be
backwards.
mirrored.
But
I
no,
can flip it back
your
saying your input
cam
or whatever.
source, your cam
Yeah.
source will always be right.
I see what
It
he's
doesn't
saying.
it doesn't
He's
matter where
correct,
it's
I think, there.
positioned on the screen.
Right. This specific.
Just
No,
do it
it's
right
not-
now,
it's
Drake.
not that
Just do
slot.
it
No,
right
no.
now.
He's saying-
So here, listen. In OBS, this window capture right here is capturing the top right window in Discord. So if the next time we do 4 cameras and I'm not in the top right, let's say I'm in the bottom left,
Fuck.
the top
It
right
may
is
not
going to be
anymore
mirrored
as
and
of-
not me. So then I'll have to unmirror the top right and then mirror myself back.
Fuck.
So Am I wrong in thinking or remembering that you yourself, each of us ourselves, were always the top left? I think that's what it was, but the
Well,
rest
now
was
it's-
not alphabetical.
Well, now it's all alphabetical.
Everybody's alphabetical right
so
now.
I'm just
No, I know
wondering-
right now, but I'm saying before, wasn't it always just you? But then it was based on probably join order or whatever. I think we were.
Drayden was
we
always
ourselves
top
were
left
always
for
top
me.
left.
No. I would. So
Okay, maybe
before it used to be, I would capture things and I would actually move the cameras to the spots to try and keep everybody in the same spot on the screen. But now with this new setup, it's like I don't care where people are. I just want the names to match, and the names are easy to change because like,
Sure.
oh, you're in that spot. I can just change names instead of having to move cameras and then move nameplates and then move everything. It was
That was the goal. To make
Right,
to make
which-
your job as easy as
so
possible
now
with the
now
overlay.
it's like worst case scenario. I have to change 6 names if we have 6 people on camera and none of the names match up, and that
Right.
takes me about 30 seconds now.
Right.
So,
But I was on the same page as Manic. I thought your input was like its own like OBS whatever
no,
tab. I don't know what the
no,
phrase
because I'm
is,
still
but-
just screen capturing myself from the
From the
general
Discord
Discord
window,
thing.
okay.
yeah. So I was just checking.
Gotcha.
So right now, I'm not supreme.
I see you that
I'm
on
Emmer-
Discord you're
Emmer
proper,
Poos.
on the stream you're not.
Emmer-
right?
Emmer-
Yeah, on the
Poos.
stream it's fucked, but on Discord it looks okay.
Yeah.
But it
that's
looks French, and so maybe you're just cultured,
Emmer
you know,
Poos.
worldly.
He's supreme.
Emmer
Hey,
Poos,
see
Emmer Poos.
Drayden is supreme.
Emmer
Well, no, you're
Poos,
still saying it forward.
That was Russian.
Emma Prus. Emma Prus.
Emmer Poos.
Emma Prus.
I'm gonna puss it.
He's backwards,
Uh,
so he's Emma.
But so the thing's like when you have your camera and you actually, because my camera's set to be mirrored, but it projects my camera mirrored to the rest of you guys, but on my own screen it's not mirrored for some reason. So like even if like you Akrath, you have your set, so like, yours will be mirrored for me, but if you had writing on your shirt, you looking at your own camera on your system would not be mirrored. But that's what OBS is capturing. It's capturing my capture of my own camera, which is
Right.
not mirrored. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, stupid fucking technology. Why would I mirror the camera and not want to see the mirrored result myself? I want to mirror it for other people, but not me. Like,
Yeah, there's no reason for it to be mirrored on your end.
except if I was capturing my source on my end for a stream. Oh shit.
Yeah, I have no idea why Discord mirrors your own camera. It's the dumbest
Well, and then
thing
like
ever.
Malkuth is upside down. Like, dude, Windows is fucking up already. I'm gonna go pee.
You're gonna blame Windows on this? We just got done
Dude, it's
blaming
that-
all
it's that
last
fucking
25
NT
years of
framework.
Windows.
It's the NT framework fucking up.
I
right
thought
now.
we were
It
healing
just puts
now.
people upside down.
Oh
they're
god
in the
damn it,
Matrix.
Malkuth's in Australia. What the fuck?
Malkuth's in Australia. Wait, I can do that. Hold on. So me and Malkuth will be
Don't you
upside
guys
down.
turn on me. Don't you
Hold on.
turn on me, damn it.
What I absolutely love is I did that and Drayden notices it. And he's like, God damn it, Discord's fucking up on me.
What the fuck?
There.
dude?
There.
This
Now
is-
Malkuth and I are upside down and Agroth and Drayden are right side up.
This is gonna be a polar opposite.
We
shit.
have a lot of fun
Based
on
on
this
polarity,
show, ladies and
and I like it.
gentlemen. All of you who have stuck around this late into the evening, thank you. We appreciate your patronage. I don't know where I'm going with this. We like having you around. Listen, we're just having fun. I said at the start of the show that this is the Eve Talk show where Eve Talk goes to die. I stand by that. I don't know where I'm going with this thought. I'm just running with it. You are now the right way up, Manic Blessed. I'm the right way up. You're the right way up, Caldari Prony, Caldari Prime, Prony, Caldari Prime Pony Club. He's in Australia, so he's saying I'm right side up. I get it. I'm smart. I'm a smart man.
He's not in Australia. He's a Kiwi.
He's a
little
Kiwi.
bit
Okay. Kiwi. So he talks a little bit like how did the
No,
Kiwi?
that's no.
Kiwi's a bit like that's oh shit. God, the Kiwi accent. It's very specific.
You're not terribly far off, but your emphasis, I think, is thrown a
When
little
I
off.
when I bike when I ride my bike, that's kind of Kiwi, isn't it?
You're getting closer. I played rugby with a Kiwi in college.
Oh my God.
I played rugby with a Kiwi.
There was a lot
almost
of weird
sounds-
emphasis on words to where like you raise and lower your words
When
here and
I
there, but
when I go to the supermarket,
That sounds
shit.
British.
Oh,
That sounds
God,
very British.
yeah, it's
So
Kiwi.
you-
Kiwi is a hard accent.
Kiwi is close to British, but he's not terribly far off right now.
Yeah, it's like I am unfamiliar with Kiwi actually, but I know Australian. So like British is much more in the mouth. Australian is much more like in the back of like it's more like set your jaw
almost
like kind of
guttural.
like it's
Yeah,
like set your
it's
jaw
back
back
there.
and it's almost like back in your throat like oh yeah no mate it's like it's you're talking back here you're not talking up here type of thing.
Say it with your chest.
I thought Kiwi was closer to Australia than it was British, but I'm actually like
Well, it
I'm actually
is,
pretty
but-
unfamiliar. I don't know if I've heard enough straight.
But it doesn't show up
I
on
would
maps
say
that way.
It's closer to the South Pole than it is to Britain.
It's of course closer to Australia
true.
than it is to
I'm just saying like
British English.
I just assumed that since it's like right next to Australia, it'd be like a little bit more of like it would almost sound like a different dialect of Australia, but like I don't know.
They're similar but different.
Amber, this is fucking hilarious.
Hold on, let me watch this too.
Yeah, let's see what it is. Oh, it's Beach Daz. Oh, fucking A. I'm totally
is so
beach, bro. I'm Beach Days.
A potato chop.
You want a chop?
Would do,
A
bro,
chop.
but I don't eat chops. Oh my god, this is hilarious.
Are you serious,
Oh,
man?
no.
This is early internet. It's
Oh,
not that
no.
early.
I've never seen this before.
I'm beached, bro.
I've never seen
I'm
it.
beached
either.
is.
Beach Days.
Hey, bro. Oh, hey, bro.
I'm totally beach.
What are you doing, bro? Dude, I'm beached is. Oh, shit. You're beached is. Tell me something I don't know.
It's Beach Diz.
Bro, you're heaps beached, eh? So beached. I'm beached is. Do you want a chip, bro? As in a chop? Yeah, chip. A potato chop. This one, chip. A chip. I would know, bro, but I don't eat chips. Well, that's shit. No, I only eat plankton. Plankton? Can't chew, bro. Try chip, bro. No, I will. I can't chew. Just try chip, bro. You don't understand. I might look big, but I can't chew, bro. I only have plankton. That's pretty deceptive. Oh, no, it's very misleading. Do you have any plankton? I'll go and check over here. Do you happen to have a bucket or a hose, bro? I need to get wet ASAP. Are you pretty parched? I'm
ASAP.
parched is. And I'm beached, bro. You're beached
parched is.
is. Oh, no.
You got a bucket or a who's, bro?
Plankton. Please, have a look around for some plankton.
This is. I'm not gonna say super early internet, but that's fairly early internet.
That seems early internet.
It was early YouTube.
2000. That's early YouTube. Yeah.
It was early YouTube, yeah, because that I remember that for my journeyman days.
Oh
We're
my
still on our
god,
journey.
that was great. That was amazing. Timber, thank you.
I think
If
the
I
only
recall,
New
there's like
Zealander
a
thing
short
I've seen is,
series
like,
around it, but that's the best one.
What
That's
was
the main one
the-
that like blew up.
That movie, The Babadook. That was a New Zealand
I'm heaps
movie.
beached, bro.
I need to watch the Babadook.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
It's like a horror movie,
It looks-
but different.
looks good.
Oh, I don't like
it's-
those.
It's kind of slow, but there's some actually like. So here's the thing: I love horror movies, but I find most of them really bad because like nothing really actually scares me, which kind of sucks. because most horror movies like they're either jump scares. I'm like, okay, you
It's jump scares,
you
yeah.
startled me, but like I'm not. It's not scary. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sudden loud thing just happens. Yeah, it's gonna make me jump, whatever. But then I like my favorite thing is like the horror movies that it's like you could see it happening, and it doesn't matter how fast or slow it is, and it's just creepy, and it's just creepy. And I thought The Grudge was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. And most people thought like The Grudge was terrible and it was goofy, and I was like, yo, I watch a lot of horror movies, and most horror movies are garbage. They're not scary whatsoever. The Grudge was creepy as shit to me.
That's the thing. Like a good scary movie like sticks with you.
Yeah, although I did
Like,
watch it. Like,
jump scares are so cheap and easy. A jump scare is not scary. It's startling, but you move on from it so quickly. But when a movie is really scary, like if you're thinking about it the next day, that's when
Yeah.
you know it's good.
well, and like so the thing is like, I do have the benefit of I watched The Grudge when it first came out in theaters, which was very, very soon after The Ring came out, and so like the Japanese horror genre coming to America was a new thing, and so like the jerky kind of like that was like a new thing in horror back then. That was not something that was normally done, so that was just really creepy back then. Now it's so overdone that now
It's a
when you
trope.
yeah, now when you see it, you're like one in a million. Like you know,
Creepy ghost girl who bends in weird ways, or her
And
mouth
does-
drops open really wide, but she's always
Yeah.
got long black hair. She's always in white robes. It's a trope.
Yeah. So basically, the Ring and The Grudge. Now, The Grudge was like Yuan or Ju-on or whatever in Japan.
Ju-on.
Like, it was a thing way, but like The Grudge was like, you know, years and years and years after they'd done it in Japan. They just Americanized it and put it in
Right.
theaters.
It was
really
still good though.
But yeah, The Grudge was creepy because the thing I liked about it was that the characters in it weren't stupid. That's the thing where like the
Yeah.
90% of horror movies I watch, it's like, okay, yeah, they got caught, but they're so dumb. Like I understand like you're not expecting like, oh, a ghost is gonna get me. It's like, but when you see weird shit happening and people have been dying in your area and like you don't
You're
just
not
like,
like, oh, let's go investigate.
Let's go investigate. Let's split up, gang. Like, you know, it's like that's so stupid. But like, it's like the people in The Grudge, is like, especially the lady in the office building, the sister of the guy that bought the house or whatever. She did like everything that I would have done. It's like she did the smartest option in every situation, and it did not avail her, and she still died in a super creepy way. Especially when she's like,
That sounds
everything
pretty
I've
good,
tried
actually.
doesn't work. I'm gonna hide under the blankets in my bedroom because like that's like you're reverting to like child terror.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
base.
the reversion.
Yeah, it's like reversion to just child absolute fear terror. And you're like hiding under your covers, like this is base. I'm safe here. And it comes crawling up at her under the covers from her feet. And I'm like, oh, you can't just invade base
So
like that.
good. Yeah, it's so good, man.
It just upends your whole.
Japanese horror is really that's scary.
Yeah, it's
that's
like
just really well
It just takes
done.
your whole
It's-
sense of safety and just upends.
it's
It's like, oh, you think
psychological.
you're safe?
Yeah, it's totally. It's all kinds. It's all kinds of psychological horror.
Yeah,
Here's
so
real
that-
quick. Here's the thing. So Walking Dead, it was a very renowned, I guess, show. A lot of people loved it. Whatever. It had quite a few seasons and had some various legs afterwards as far as games and other materials. But I watched through the first season, not like glued to it, but watched through it, and then early in the second season, they're like camping out in tents on the ground, and there's a fucking zombie apocalypse going.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't. Like I can't. You
I-
know roughly what's going on, and like the writing, you guys are failing this show, and people stay glued to it. And I'm also like, one of my silly things is I was like, I don't really like Transformers. I thought it was kind of a garbage movie, and a lot of people are like, Transformers was great, whatever.
The
It's
first
like,
one was fun.
that's an American opinion, sure, like great. A lot of people loved it
They
in
got
a
worse and
Michael
worse.
in a Michael Bay way. I thought the first one was garbage, and that's fine that you like it, and I'm not gonna like elaborate even more. Like, it's fine, but that's how I felt about that point in Walking Dead. I was like, zombie apocalypse culture as something that didn't get a budget in a series and whatever. It's already moderately hashed out so that we know what we should expect out of it. I think you have plenty of room to like build and make a great show out of it, but like, you're entering season 2, people are realizing what's going on, and they're sleeping in tents on the ground, and I'm just like, these people want to die.
Yeah,
Like I watched
they should
multiple
know
episodes
better.
into the second season, and I was like, these people want to die. They're trying to die. This is not good.
After all they've been through, they should know better than to
This is
sleep
not
in
a good
tents on the
series.
ground.
It's not well written, and like I was seeing that through the first few episodes of I think it was like second season, and I was just like, I'm sorry, like I can't. And the show blew up, and I was just like, it's fine. I'm not gonna be loud about this. Transformers, in my opinion, was also garbage, but it's like a lot of people love it, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine. Walking Dead was a huge show, and those people made a lot of money, and good on them. Great job, everybody. Like, I hope people really enjoyed it, and that's perfectly fine. But we've been playing zombie apocalypse games for years. We've thought about it. We've seen shows about, like there's all these like little, subculture, pop culture stuff about it, and I'm like, you gotta treat your characters like they're really running from zombies and that they're really afraid and that nobody's sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
Once they know that there is something not understood that easily gets to you like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I was saying, I was getting the thing, so there's a lot of horror, like the vast majority. There's some horror movies I'll watch that it's enjoyable, but it's not scary. But there are a few select movies that were actually had, like, some of them were just creepy all through. Like The Ring was really good, The Grudge was really good, but then there's other ones that most of it was kind of meh, but they had some really good spot. There's a few spots that there was like, oh, okay, this movie was mediocre, but these few spots were like really creepy and good enough that it's like it redeemed the movie enough to where it's like, okay, I usually don't get that in most horror movies. Like there's one called Lights Out. It's like a general, just kind of meh horror movie, but there's a couple scenes in that movie where it's like, it's just like, oh man, that gives me like the shivers a little bit. Like that's fucking really creepy. The Babadook has a couple scenes like that for me. So I would say, like, I was surprised because it's like not a really well known, although it has got a bit more.
It's got a cult following.
It's got a bit more of a cult following. It's a New Zealand film, and it has, I would say, like at least a few scenes in it that are like just like really creepy, actually. And like one of them is just her reading a book. I'm not gonna give any more spoilers than that, but like just the book was creepy. So
Drayden. Have you seen a little movie called Midsummer?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it. That's the one
Holy...
with it's like the cult type thing. It's almost like the Wicker Man, but not ridiculous.
It is a horror movie set in broad daylight, and it is fucking terrifying. I talk about movies that stick with you and that you are still thinking about the next day. I've been thinking about this movie since I saw it, and I think I may have actually slept with the lights a little bit on, like dimmed a little bit that night. That movie fucked me up. Highly recommended. I love movies that make me feel gross and uncomfortable, and Midsummer hit every goddamn check mark.
Mara is another one. Mara is it's become a trope now. Like everything, like anytime anything catches a slightest hint of success, all these pylons come after it. I don't know if Mara was the first one or if it was one of the ones that followed, but it was another one that kind of had a couple creepy spots, and it deals with the what do you call it, like the sleep paralysis demon trope.
Oh, that shit's actually like terrifying.
Yeah, if you so watch Mara. It's just called Mara. Mara. It's deals with the sleep paralysis demon lady, and it's pretty fucking creepy in quite a bit of spots.
Is that like the sleep paralysis demon lady? Is that like a common trope or something?
Yeah. So it's like a
sleep paralysis is a medical condition.
Yeah. So
and it's really weird because it's very common that people who suffer from sleep paralysis, they all describe sensing a presence in the room, a dark presence, like standing in the corner watching them. It's usually female. It's either watching them and keeping them from moving, or it is physically crouching on top of their chest to keep them from moving. It's so common. All the reports of sleep paralysis, not all of them, but the majority of them, they report this dark female presence in the room that keeps them from moving. It's really strange.
Well, and so doctors have looked into it, and they obviously can't prove anything, but like they're most best guesses on it. So sleep paralysis. So like when you get into like deep sleep, your body kind of like, I don't know if it's a chemical thing that it sends out or whatever, but it's basically a thing that kind of paralyzes you. I don't know if it like physically paralyzes your muscles, but it's like it might be something that just goes on in your brain that makes your brain not want to move. That's why you aren't like, acting out your dreams in your sleep. So it kind of keeps you still, even though you're vividly dreaming a movie in your head. So, but the thing is, like, people will kind of like somewhat awaken during that, like, so they can't move because they're still like half asleep, half awake type of thing. They're awake and like kind of lucid, but at the same time their brain is like kind of half asleep, so they can't move themselves.
Yeah. It's
And
like this
because of that-
disconnect between the conscious and subconscious brain.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, because of that, like, your breathing shallows when you sleep and stuff. So a lot of times people, they're like, I can't get a full breath. It's like, that's because you're sleeping and your body doesn't want full awake breaths, essentially. So it's like you feel like I can't breathe. So you feel like it feels like there's a weight on your chest because like you're just taking shallow sleeping breaths. But people are like conscious of that, and so it kind of freaks them out. And they say that, like, when you're kind of asleep, like, you're usually like laying down, it's like you have this like look down thing, and you have this, you're still kind of in a lucid state. And the thing's like when you dream lucidly, or just when you dream, it's a chemical called DMT, dimethyltryptamine. That is actually a drug. People take it, which, when you take it in excessive amounts, it's like basically lucid dreaming while awake but high. So your body naturally makes it, but not in those amounts. So it's like when you dream, that is the DMT like causing your mind to like, But
Have you guys ever lucid dreamed? Dreamt lucidly? Have you ever been able to do that?
Yeah,
I've been able to do it
know
once.
It can be a little
fully.
freaky.
I will say I had one moment of like sleep paralysis kind of thing where like I would say on the brink and like couldn't move my body and it was horrifying, but I was on the brink of like falling asleep, and so that was a big part of it in my mind. Like I was cognitive enough to realize it and for whatever reason be a little bit horrified about it, but it wasn't crazy. It reminded me of like Kill Bill where she's like move your
Move
knuckle or-
your big toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, like I cannot move my body. And like it was horrifying for whatever. I don't know how long it was, I was tired. But I've had like one moment like that where I was just like, I'm on the brink so much, but I've never been there like maybe once or twice, but like it's not a common thing for me. But I was just like, I'm aware and I'm here and I could see my body laying out, but I cannot control it.
Can't
and it's
control it.
just
Yeah, that's
horrifying.
gotta be a terrifying experience.
But yeah, so I was just saying, like, so they think like maybe the DMT, like, so that now you're awake, but you still have a bunch
You're
of
kind of
DMT
like
in your
tripping
system,
a little
so,
bit.
like, you're like, kind of like somewhat tripping, and so the thing is like, generally when you start having a bad experience like that, you start having negative things, and like the DMT can kind of manifest things, and so that's why they generally start having fears, and then you start seeing things. That's why people have like that's like the sleep paralysis demon is a thing where like people usually see like
Your
maybe
brain
shapes
is kind of
move.
filling in the blanks.
Yeah, it's like shapes move in the closet or shapes move at the foot of your bed, and those shapes turn into something malevolent, or it's like something's on your chest and you like something's on my chest and you see something on your chest. So like people have that whole experience, so that they're basically hallucinating these things happening, but it's like it just feels like, but they're like, but I was awake and I was seeing this shit and I couldn't breathe, so it became this thing. So the sleep paralysis demon has become a horror trope that now there's a bunch of movies and stuff about it. So, but yeah, Mara, I would say I've seen a few of them. Most of them are really cheesy. I'm not saying that Mara isn't cheesy either. It has some cheesy parts to it, but it was actually, of all of them, I think probably the better one done. So if you want to watch
I'm gonna get it.
sleep paralysis horror movie, Mara.
I like
solid.
I like that actor, Olga Kurilenko. She's really good.
Oh,
Have any of you guys ever heard or seen Paprika?
Yes.
Like the seasoning?
Is it an anime?
It's an animated whatever, yeah, like an anime based film.
I know I have it on my media server, but I've never watched it.
it's kind of around a theme of like some corporation or whatever that is trying to like pioneer technology to like not necessarily record dreams, but allow you to like interact in your dreams or whatever, and gets somewhat either compromised or stolen or something, and kind of goes off the rails a little bit. But really well done. I'm not a huge anime guy or anything. I usually will watch like a movie here and there because every once in a while people are like, this is a phenomenal plot, phenomenally well done, whatever. You like watch it, it's basically a Hollywood movie worth of some anime movie. And Paprika is one of those. Like that is a phenomenal, also great soundtrack in my opinion. But just really good subject matter, really well done, and it's just like, hey, maybe we should be careful if we start fucking around with dreams.
Oh man, speaking of anime, okay, it wouldn't be an open comm show if we didn't do a Death Shot once in a while.
You say a Death Shot? Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Apparently, the guy that created the manga for Yu-Gi-Oh started the whole Yu-Gi-Oh thing. They just found him today, but they assumed he's probably been in the water for a day or two. So, like a day or two ago, the guy that created the Yu-Gi-Oh manga died while snorkeling off he's like in the Sea of Japan.
Yeah,
or
they
something.
found him like in the ocean.
So yeah, I mean, I was never a Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
It was like slightly post Pokemon, which I wasn't huge into. It was just like in my younger years.
I think it's still insanely popular.
Oh, it is.
It is very still.
Now,
yeah.
So the weird thing with Yu-Gi-Oh is I thought it was a card game that was then turned into an anime. I did not realize it was a manga that was turned into an anime that turned into a card game.
It's the other way around. That's funny.
So, so they found him, and then also today, the former prime minister of Japan, the guy that was prime minister, like he was prime minister for a long time. He finally resigned, and the new guy came in, but he got assassinated today.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about this.
Yeah. So the guy, it was a crazy guy. Now, guns are illegal in Japan. This guy made his own, like, homemade shotgun, like, out of PVC pipe and shit. And brought it to... Which is why he got through, like, metal detectors or whatever with it. Although, I don't know, like, the metal shot... I don't know. Somehow, there was a speech and an event thing that the former Prime Minister, was it Shinzo Abe? Was at. And he was going down and close to the crowd. And this guy with his homemade... PVC pipe shotgun just walked up and shot him, and he died.
Damn.
Yeah. So, and it's like, I mean, it's early on, but like, it doesn't seem like there was any kind of like weird political motivation. It's just some crazy fucking dude wanted to shoot him. It's almost like the guy that tried to shoot Reagan. It's like, oh, what's her name? Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah, Jodie Foster will love me if I shoot this guy.
Oh, wow.
Solid logic.
Yeah. Stray Guy,
what's up? The guy that shot President Garfield. I think
I actually don't know who that is.
I can't remember his name, but he was a
McKinley
nut job. He shot him in a train station, I think it was. But I think he was trying to get a book published. He was trying for years to get a book published. Oh God, maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway, I think he thought that by
Vlad's saying it's Guiteau.
Yes, Guiteau, Charles Guiteau.
What Guiteau?
Charles
Guiteau. Okay.
Yeah, he shot Garfield. I think he was trying to get a book publishing, and he thought if he could just talk to the president, then the president could pull some strings to help him get this book published. And the president, so he just approached him in a train station. This is, like way back in the day when you could just approach the president of the United States in a random train station somewhere. And he's like, I'm trying to get this book published. And Garfield is like, I don't want any part of this. I don't know you. Sorry. Good luck.
At this point, only Lincoln had been shot, I think.
And then the Guiteau just pulls out a gun and shoots the guy right in the fucking train station.
And so I didn't know, because there's only been 4 presidents assassinated. It was like Lincoln first, then Garfield, then
Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, and Reagan.
JFK.
Or JFK.
Reagan was attempted, but he didn't
Reagan
die.
was shot, but he did not die.
Yeah, and I don't know if any of the presidents have been shot but didn't die. But I think there's the funny thing is, like, when I actually looked into it, and like assassination attempts are way more common than you think. Like literally every single president in the U.S. in my whole lifetime has had multiple assassination attempts against them. Now that doesn't mean that they were shot at or something, but I mean like assassination plots that were then foiled, or assassination attempts that they didn't get a chance to get close enough to the president because the Secret Service found them and stopped them and prior. But so it's like, you know, like attempt doesn't mean that got shot and missed. Attempt means like someone showed up or was planning on killing the president and they found out about it and stopped them before it happens. And apparently, I don't know how far back, but like in the modern day, like every president, like Obama had like a dozen assassination
Honestly,
attempts.
it doesn't
foiled.
surprise me.
Bush
And
Jr.,
they
Clinton.
probably count like
Gotta remember the classic
letters.
sandal.
They probably count
The
like
sandal.
letters that the president
Fucking Bush.
receives because of the presidential, like the mail
Oh, like
gets
death
searched.
threats.
So yeah, death
Yeah.
threats.
They're
They're
gonna-
probably counting those.
They're gonna glory up stats, sure.
Okay, so which Roosevelt?
Because you
though,
know
Vlad?
that I'm
FDR
not
or
going to lean
Teddy?
on any news in particular, but you know that the
Oh, Teddy,
news,
okay,
just
okay.
the news, would run with any sort of like,
Right.
we heard about an assassination attempt.
Yeah, I didn't read your previous the post
Like,
right
like
above
you
it,
said,
but
I
sorry.
think there's rationality to like anytime someone said something super shitty, they were like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
we're gonna
So
we're gonna
cr-
tick that box.
Generally, what
And
they
now you're hiding in Guantanamo. Like, good luck on your.
yeah. So generally, Drakenov, like credible threats are usually things where they like know that someone that whether it's through a lot of times it's like through mails or letters or things that they've said to other people that other people are like, whoa, this person seems like I know this person, they seem like really unstable and off their rocker, and they'll like alert someone, and then they look into it and they're like, this person was talking about killing the president, or like, and then they go to their house and they find that they've like booked a plane ticket to DC and they have like a gun stowed away in a bag and stuff like that. So that's what they would consider, like, you know, things like that would be like, that's a foiled assassination attempt, you know, where it's like they were probably planning on going there and doing that. Now, whether they would have actually done it on that day or not, who knows? But like, they had the intent, they mentioned their intent, and they had the means, and they were ready to go, and they stopped them, type of stuff. Or there's been people that have showed up at things like with weapons, and they found the weapons on them and detained them, and you know, stuff like that. So that's usually what they call assassination attempts that they've foiled, type of stuff. But yeah, so I mean, like, as far as people actually, like, I mean, there's the 4 that was assassinated. I know, I mean, everyone knows Wilkes Booth, John Wilkes Booth or whatever, for Lincoln, and Oswald for Kennedy. And then I knew Garfield was assassinated. I knew McKinley was assassinated, but I don't really know anything about those two. Garfield was weird because like he won a presidency, and then lost
Charles
it, and then
Battelle.
won it the term after. So like,
the
he had
only
this
one
whole,
with
like,
non-subsequent.
McKinley.
Garfield's the only president to have been president and then not been president and then been president
Go
again.
back to it, yeah.
Yeah, like he's the only one that did that.
That was Grover Cleveland.
Oh, you
yeah.
might be right. I think you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Grover
yeah.
Cleveland
It is
served
time.
2 non-consecutive terms.
Yeah, okay.
So he
yeah,
had a really
not Garfield.
positive
Not
first
Garfield,
half,
Cleveland, that's
and
right.
people like were pretty positive about him. There was the gap, and then on the second half, people were not so positive. From what I read, but historically, like when people have reflected on, people have wrote about it and whatnot, like he's considered one of the more respectable folks.
Yeah, I forget that was Cleveland. I don't
That's
know
how
why.
it played out.
I've done that before where I thought it was Garfield and it was Cleveland, but hopefully we don't have that happen again next election. Just saying.
And with that, I'm gonna check out.
Yeah, God.
Are you now?
I'm winding down, so I'm gonna peace out. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, see you, man.
Sweet dreams, Manic.
Thanks for the show, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna have sweet dreams. I'm gonna lucid dream about a creepy ghost woman sitting on my chest.
Oh wow.
No, wait, hold on. That sounded gross and sexual. It wasn't.
kinda sounded a
I
little
was
off.
trying to bring it back to sleep paralysis
said
and the
chest,
sleep
it's fine.
paralysis
If you
demon,
said
but as
sitting
soon as
on-
I said sit on the chest, now somebody's gonna clip it and they're gonna do some AI
No.
fuckery to make me say shit on my chest.
Or
We're not
sit
as talented
sit on
as
your
you.
So-
face. Like, if she's on your face, then it's.
Then it's okay.
Kosher. It's completely kosher.
There's worse ways to go.
The chest is where that's you don't
You're
want.
either eating that ass,
Let's-
I'm not saying shit on your face. I'm saying.
or you're doing something else.
Let's stop. Let's stop. I'll talk to you guys later.
Manic, watch Mara
Bye.
before you go to bed.
Be safe, buddy. Wow.
Holy shit! Look at the names. They're just like the last time there was 3 of us on cam. It must have been us 3, and they must have been doing the alphabetical thing back then too.
I don't know, because I
Probably
feel
last
like I'm
weekend.
usually pretty high on the list, but I don't know if it's traditionally done the alphabetical thing.
I think I've been
Like maybe
noticing
it's longer than we
No,
realize.
I think it
guess.
is. I think the last month or two, you've always been in the front
I
slot.
feel like I've always been there. Like always. Like I've been hanging out with you guys for about a year now. Or
Malkuth
so.
went to portrait mode.
Oh god damn it! Put it back in landscape.
You never go portrait, Malkuth.
Wasn't even a portrait. I was like, what am I gonna do with this? So I, because I'm kind of new to OBS, so I was just.
I mean,
kinda
you're not
fucking around with it.
Australian
If I
anymore.
rotate clockwise.
Oh goodness, what an interesting.
Oh man.
Indeed, I look forward to this every Friday.
This is like my weekly therapy. I think so.
Dang.
Makes the work week worth it. Holy shit! Don't put 3W words
No, it
together.
doesn't. It doesn't do that.
Worth work it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Ready as the devil.
I should check my creme brulees in the fridge. Made some creme brulee. I'm still new to it. I've done it. This is my 4th attempt. I've done 3 tries. The first one was a success, and apparently I was lucky that it came out a success. The second one failed miserably, and then the third one came out a success. So it's like I'm 2 out of 3, and then this is the 4th time I've tried it. So we'll see. The recipe seems so simple. It's only like 4 ingredients. Well, 3 technically. Salt, like a pinch of salt, is like the 4th ingredient. So I don't really. Well, no. There's 5 ingredients if you include the pinch of salt. So it's basically like heavy whipping cream and egg yolks and sugar. That's like 99%. And then you have like 3 teaspoons of vanilla, and then like a pinch of salt. So it's like that's all you need for it. But it's like even though it's like it seems simple, but it's like it's a delicate process. It's very like precise. If you don't do it right, your custard might not set right, and therefore then you're gonna have like egg yolk / cream like soup, which is gross. No one wants to eat that. So, because like you heat up the cream, but you don't want to heat it up to like boil. You don't want to like start boiling it. You want to get it like hot, but not too hot. So it's like there's like this weird range that you got to get it to. It's like just right, and then you take it off the heat, and then you like separate 10 egg yolks. Well, for the size of the recipe, I'm gonna get 10 egg yolks, like a cup and a half of sugar. Whip that together. That's the easy part because you can't mess that up. Cup and a half of sugar, 10 egg yolks. Whisk them together. But then like the cream, you put a little vanilla in. But like the cream you have to get just right. You have to like heat it up enough to where like it'll. I don't know what I don't want to say activate, but like it gets it to like. Yeah, it's like a custard deluxe. So you get it just right. But then you have to take the cream off. No, not eggnog. It's a creme brulee. That's what I'm making. So basically the recipe is like, so I do a double size of the recipe. So it's 1 quart of heavy. It has to be heavy whipping cream. You can't just be regular. You have to have like at least 36% heavy whipping cream. 40% is probably better. I use 36%, but it works. So you do like a quart of that in the pan on the stove. Low heat, like low. It depends on like, if you're using a gas stove, probably like medium low, maybe medium. But like on an electric stove, you probably want like a 3 or a 4, and you want to just heat it up slow. Stir it occasionally, but not like vigorously. Just kind of stir it once in a while, and you want to heat it up to where it's like. Oh, and you put like about 3 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract in there. They say an actual whole vanilla bean. Whatever. I'm not doing that. I don't even know where I could buy a vanilla bean. Like my grocery stores don't sell that shit. So. If you live in a town that sells whole vanilla beans and you want to do that route, that's the way they say it. But so you slowly stir that, but then you separate 10 egg yolks in a mixing bowl, whisk that up, put a cup and a half of sugar in it, whisk that up, a little pinch of salt, and get it going. Also, you want to boil a whole pan of water because you need boiling water. And then once you get the cream heated up to where it's hot but not boiling, take it off the heat, let it sit for like 5 to 10 minutes so it cools down a little bit. Slowly add it and whisk it into the egg yolk and sugar mixture, so it all like evenly. I like how I'm doing like the like actions, like, you know, while I'm saying it, but so, you know, whisk that in there. Once you get that all mixed up, you should have boiling water ready. Also preheat the oven to 325. Then you want to get baking pans, like the deep cake tin baking pans, and you want to have some ramekins. So you fill the ramekins about however full you want to do. I usually do about 2/3 full. I got big enough ramekins to where it's like, so I can fill up 8 ramekins about 2/3 full with the quart worth of mixture, quart of cream, but then there's about probably another 2 cups worth of sugar and egg yolk. So it's probably a quart and a half. And you mix all that, you put it in the ramekins, and then you have to have the boiling water. You put it in the cake tins, and then so then the ramekins go in the water, so that so it starts off boiling. So when you put it in the oven, it's already hot, and the oven keeps the water hot, and basically the water allows the heating of the creme brulee in the ramekins to evenly disperse the heat mildly, instead of just like hard cooking. Because if you hard cook it, there's a lot of egg yolks in there. If you hard cook it, you're gonna have like scrambled eggs in ramekins instead of creme brulee. So you don't want to like overheat it. So that's why it's at 325. But then they're submerged in water, and you cook it for about an hour. Well, I set the timer for 50 minutes, and then I check it every 10 minutes after that until it's about the right consistency. So you take a toothpick and you stick them in them, and you don't want it to be like cake batter where like it comes out dry. That's bad.
Right.
That means you have scrambled eggs. But you don't want it to be like watery. You want it to be like a nice kind of like, I would say, take pudding texture.
Yeah, it's almost spongy to some.
And make it a little like a little more liquidy than pudding. Like take pudding, add about 10% more liquidity to it. That's about where you want it.
Definitely like a substantial residue.
No, I'm not stoned. I'm talking about cooking. I'm a little drunk.
I was about to type that. I was like, no, he's not stoned. He's discussing the intricacies of fucking cooking.
No. But Victoria, I'm not stoned, but I'm a little drunk.
So, highbrow shit.
Yeah, I'm a little drunk. But anyway, so you stick. So once you get in there, it's like when it's right about that.
Look, if you've never been a creme brulee, which I have not, chat. This is what he's talking about. He's talking about trying to make creme brulee.
Well, you don't want it custard viscosity, because it's going to set in the fridge and it's going to thicken up. So you don't want it to be custard thickness in the oven, because that means that it's probably overcooked at that point. So you want it to be less. That's what I'm saying. So, but you don't want it to be watery. You don't want it to be like super liquidy watery. You want it to be like kind of like, so I kind of shake the tins a little bit. And so if they jiggle a little bit, almost like jello, that's kind of what you're looking for. And then you stick it with a toothpick. And if it's almost like pudding but not quite there, and it's ready, then you take it out. You take them out, and you dump some of the boiling water. You want to make sure you take it out with the hot pans and stuff, but then you cover up. I usually use saran wrap, cover each ramekin, put it in the fridge, let it sit for at least 4 hours. I usually let it sit overnight, and then hopefully you have some good creme brulee. And then you just, when you're ready to eat it, you just pour a good decent helping of sugar coating on the top, and then you torch it and just kind of like burn the sugar a little bit. You don't want to burn it black, but you want to like when you torch it, it should boil a little bit and then kind of like almost brown a little bit, and that's where you want
Toasted.
Yeah, you want to so you want to like melt the sugar, boil a little bit, and then you want to take the heat off, and you just want to like brown it. You don't want to blacken it, you want to brown it. And then you let it sit for like a minute or two after that, and then it solidifies, gets that hard kind of crusty, it's like, caramelized sugar candy layer on the top, and then boom, you have a vanilla creme brulee with a delicious candy top. Anyway, yeah, so that's like cooking with Drayden without actually seeing the cooking with Drayden. That's what I did today before the show.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Creme brulee is pretty badass.
I love it. It's my favorite dessert.
I won't say it's my favorite. I've enjoyed it a few times, and it's not bad, but I know that it's not an easy thing to crank out. Like, I've worked at restaurants for many, many years, and obviously they know how to do it, but it's just like, it's you got to do it the right way. You can't just like, there's a lot of things in life that you can half-ass, and there's a lot of food items in life that you can half-ass, and they'll still be mostly acceptable. There's some things that you cannot half-ass.
Yeah, I like that.
Like cheesecakes, creme brulees. Like there's a few things that like you got to kind of make sure and hit like.
I would say
quite a
desserts
few
are
tick
much more of a
boxes.
finesse thing.
I think so, actually.
And so he's like, I like cooking. I haven't done much, but that's why I've been like branching into desserts because I haven't really done desserts much. But I like and bake. That's the thing, like, cooking something on a stove, cooking something on a grill. You know, baking. When it comes to like baking, like dessert baking or bread baking, stuff like that. Like that is a much more precision process. Like I mean, like if you're grilling a steak on the thing, it's like okay, yeah, if you overcook it and you make your steak well done, whoops, you know, stuff like that. But I'm like, generally, you put it on there, you're gonna cook it as long as you don't overcook it or undercook it, depending on your taste. You know, it's good. It mainly depends. Like, okay, what's the rub you use? What's the marinade you use? That's the main thing at that point. Or cooking stuff on the stove. It's like, I mean, like, there's a lot of forgiveness on that kind of thing. But like when it comes to baking, baking is very, very. Because I'm one of those people. Like when it comes to recipes, I fudge it. I'm just like, oh, okay, let me just look at like, it needs this, 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 and this, and this. I just look at the ingredients. I really look at the amounts. I just like wing it myself because I'm like, I want it to taste like this. So like when I'm making, I'm like, I'll throw this in, this, and this, and what does it taste like? Okay, it needs more of this. Okay, it needs more of this. So I just kind of taste it as I go and get it to where I want it.
That's why you should have a ton of like tasting spoons.
Yeah,
I've worked in
I
nice
do.
restaurants before where like they just have a big ramekin or whatever, a dish, a container of spoons, and it's just like each one, just taste it, do a little more, take a new spoon, taste it, do a little more.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever,
That's also
proper work.
Like that's why. So I mean, like I don't use small spoons for like eating anything. Like if I'm eating soup or cereal, I'm using a big spoon. But I have a shitload of small spoons, and those are all like I call them my tasting spoons. So it's like when I'm making soups or sauces. Now, if I'm just cooking for myself, I'll just use the same spoon over and over because like it's just me eating it. So I don't care if I like taste it and then dip it back in. I don't care about double dipping if I'm the only one eating it. But if I'm cooking for other people, I will like taste it and I'll use either a different spoon or I'll just like quick wash, like a little dab of soap, quick wash the spoon again before because like if other people are eating it, I'm not gonna double dip my spoons and stuff. That's not great, but so I mean, where was I going with this? I'm drunk.
I think you were going to go check on your creme brulee.
Yeah, did you do that?
Yeah, well, it's in the fridge. It's fine.
Oh, now you're doing the other stage. Okay, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, it's been in the fridge. So that's when the show started. I was like, I gotta check my creme brulee. That was
well,
me.
and actually, when we ended was when you ran off. That's right.
Yeah, so when we
ended main show because
no. When we started the main show, that's when I ran off. At the very start of the show.
No, I remember that you ran off before when it was just you and I, and then you ran off right when the show started. I'm talking about when you recently ran off to check it out again.
Oh no, I recently ran off to go pee.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we were just talking about.
I went in that door right. You could see that door.
I thought you mentioned checking on it.
That door. No. Well, I did like 10 minutes ago, but I was going to check it in the fridge.
That's what I'm talking about.
To see if it set right. That's what I'm saying. So,
okay.
When I left at the very beginning of the show, I'd already taken it out of the oven because it was done and ready, but I needed to like wrap them and put them in the fridge. I didn't want them to sit on the counter because then they won't set right. So, no, I did not pee in my creme brulee, Tim.
Wow. That's some like fetishy creme brulee.
I'm sure some people are into that, but not me. But yeah, no. So I think they're good. Like I said, I've made creme brulee 3 times prior. 2 came out great. 1 was a failure. 1 was like the outsides were solidified, and the middle was like liquid soup. It was like creme brulee soup with a cooked outside, and it was just like, yeah, I'm throwing these out. Not
Soup
good.
brulee.
Yeah. They were gross, but I think I got this one right. I think I've got it down now to a science where I think I can like just do it every time at this point. So yeah, like I was saying like baking is very specific. So like baking, that's the thing. I will just kind of wing recipes. I'll look at recipes as a guideline and then just kind of make it myself and wing it to my own desires. But when it comes to baking is like very specific. It's like,
yeah,
if you change anything in a baking recipe, you can really fuck it up. It just
right.
won't come
Things
out
like
right.
won't rise. Things with like it's severe.
Yeah, and so
Night temper.
if you want
Be
to do
safe,
something
buddy.
different, you generally either you're a baker and you can make your own shit, or you're like, I need to find a different recipe and follow.
It's
that
funny.
one to a
I've read
T.
that for years. Like people being like, recipes are fun to play with. Like you can turn recipes into your own. You can have your own influence on them. They
See,
were like
Liz.
baking. They were like baking. You don't fuck with.
Yeah, so
There's a reason. There's like scientific reasons why you have to do certain
Yeah,
things in certain
baking-
ways to make it even work at all.
Baking is very specific.
You can flub a recipe. You can't do that very well in baking, apparently.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
from what I've read.
Yeah, because like when you're cooking stuff on the stovetop or in a skillet or on the grill, it's like
throw some more spices in it.
Yeah, it's like you can spice stuff like what do you want it to taste like?
What, is
But
it
when
getting
you're
a little dry?
baking, like how
squeeze
the baking and like if it's a dough that needs to rise or just whatever it is, like the amount of ingredients has to be precise and evenly mixed, or else and cooked at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time, or else it's still like be gooey inside, or it's not gonna rise right, or it's not gonna it's gonna fuck up somehow, and it's just not gonna come out right. Period. Whereas like if you're making some kind of casserole, it's like, oh, you want it to taste a little more like this than this, then add more of this spice or add less of this, or put more of this sauce in it. That's customizable very easily. So cooking is easier than baking by far.
Goodness gracious.
Oh yeah.
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Speaking of bed, I think it's probably time for me to drop off as well.
That was just a continuation of your Lyle Lovett. Mine was Top Gun.
Hey, it all works.
That was Meg Ryan to Goose.
Oh, they came out good.
Oh, there you go.
That's
I like to hear about
that's
that.
3 for 4. Hell yeah.
Oh, and you're so much closer to your fridge now than you ever used to. You used to have to go downstairs.
That's the nice thing. I don't have stairs
Yeah.
in this place. Now I'm on the.
You're
third.
just like you were 10 feet away, and you're like, oh, they're good.
Yeah, my kitchen's right there, so that's all I had to go to.
Hey, that's gonna make kitchen
That makes me feel a lot better about it. Earlier, I thought you were like neglecting your shit, checking up and whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
no,
like,
it's
oh, like don't, like just go check on it. It's fine, Drayden. Like we'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I like the fact that I don't have stairs inside my place. Like now I'm on the 3rd floor, so if I'm leaving, I have to go down 2 flights of stairs, which isn't bad. But
you deserve that, Drayden.
Yeah, I just like that. It's like,
kidding.
Oh, I want to get a drink. Fridge is right there. Oh, I want to get this. It's right there. Like everything's right there.
It's nice. Definitely make sure to take pictures tomorrow, like when you pop them out of. I assume they're in some sort of like little mold or container or something.
Ramekins, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So do take some pictures when you pop them out if you don't mind. If they're good, and if they're bad, then like you don't have to.
Oh no, I just checked them. They're good. They've set up and solidified to the right texture. They're like nice and right where they should be. They're a nice creme brulee custard texture, and I know the flavor's there. I just need to make sure the texture's the hard part. The flavors, if you do the recipe right, then the flavor's fine. It's the texture that you have to get right. That's the hard part. But if you get it to set right in the fridge, then you're golden. So yeah, I'm heading to my parents tomorrow night for dinner. My parents have an above ground pool. They need to put a liner on, but my dad with his eye, he's not allowed to strain himself because apparently when you strain your body, like it puts strain on your retina a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
Which is weird. Like he wouldn't think about it, like it doesn't take much strain, but he just had that. He had a tear on his retina, and he had to go get
I remember
eye
you talking
surgery
about
for it
that.
last week. So he's still like recovering from that. So he's like, the doctor told him like don't look down or up excessively. Like, try and keep your eyes focused forward for like a couple weeks, and also don't do any like physical strenuous stuff. Period. So, but they want to get the pool liner put in, so they basically bribed us kids with dinner. So like, yeah, come over for dinner and then put the pool liner in for us. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll bring some dessert. Well, I mean, like, Rem, you can't help. But Rem is just quick. Rem is just like quick, like side to side. It means like, you know, like hard, like if you're like trying to look up as hard as you can and look down as hard as you can, like it puts strain on your eye. Because Rem is just like kind of like, you know, just blasting around, like mostly central focus, but like a little off to the side. Rem doesn't. Eye is not going like way the fuck hard over here, straining your eye, and then way over here, straining your eye. So.
I think I'm gonna call it for the night.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a good time.
Gentlemen. I will catch y'all later.
Yep, see you, Malcolm.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I think we're gonna
wind it down.
Yeah, I think we can wind it down. Is there anything to watch? Do we want to watch something?
I don't know. The only thing I've watched recently, so I started The Boys about a week or two ago.
I'm only like 3 episodes into the new season, I think.
So I just finished and actually I'm going to rewatch like the last episode or so of the first season. So like I started it within the last week or so, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, like altogether, you haven't seen like all the seasons in.
Right. And like I'm just newly into it within the last week or two, and I was like, like I said, I'm about finished with the first season, but I'm like, it's
intense. The first one.
This is a pretty compelling show.
Yeah, and it goes wacky from there on too.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm just like I think I'm on like the second to last or the last episode of the first season, and I'm like I may rewatch which one I just watched last night or a few nights ago, because I'm like feel like I kind of missed a few things, but like show's heavy. I'm just gonna say like I appreciate what it is intense. Because I'm not a big superhero fan in general, and that show is dark and cynical.
It is. It's like it's a take on the superhero genre, but it is not
amongst other societal reflections.
Yeah,
but
it is not a superhero.
It is very anti-hero.
It's much more of everything's a gray area, and even the gray areas are probably like morally corrupt.
And this is my first experience with like any, I guess, Amazon series.
Yeah,
I'm pretty anti.
I feel like it's very. I know it's kind of fantastical, but at the same time, I feel like it's probably closer to, if you could imagine like today's real, actual, tangible world, and that there was people with superhuman powers.
If that was a thing, you could see it, right?
Probably a little closer to like what that would actually be like. People
the
with
sad
powers like that would probably be very corrupt in the ways that they use them.
And that's the sad and like silly reality is
some would be honest
you could
and
see
good.
It.
Yeah, some would be
You're
honest.
Like I could totally see it.
Yeah, and then some would be horrible people, and then some would just be like, "I'm not an evil fuck, but I'm gonna use my powers for self-gain."
I just did what I was told.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my powers for self-gain, and why not? You know, so like, I feel like it's a more realistic take on like.
It's a really interesting perspective to take on it.
Like. Yeah,
I think it's really fascinating, and I've heard about it for quite a while, and like I have coworkers and you know friend circle and people who talk about like you know like Peaky Blinders or Better Call Saul or you know like I'm just gonna say like any of a dozen shows at any given time, and this is one of the ones that I've like heard about lightly over time, and I'm just like you know I had no idea what it was about or anything, and at some point I read within the last couple of weeks I read something kind of interesting about it, and I was like you know a night I have some spare time, I'll throw on an episode and just see what it's about, and I was like oh shit. This shit's heavy.
Because I watched the preview for it and I was like, huh. And then
that's what it was. You posted the season 3 trailer. That's what it was. It was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like...
And I was like, what the fuck is this show?
Yeah, so like when I first saw the first season 1, I watched the season 1 like as it came out, and I was like... I saw the trailer, I was like, interesting? And honestly, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. It seems like a weird superhero thing. Like at this point I was like kind of marveled out, you know, like because there's a new Marvel movie like every month it feels like, and I was just kind of like,
Yeah, basically
another
Call of Duty.
superhero thing. And then I saw the trailer. I was like, it looks different. It's got Carl Urban, and I love Carl Urban. I was like, you know
he's
what?
pretty entertaining.
I'll give it like the 3-episode test, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And then I started watching. I was like, this is nothing what I expected it to be. This is a total.
It's heavy. It's dark.
I was like, this is so different from what my expectations were, and I kind of fucking like it. It's like morbidly interesting.
It's a very interesting show.
Yeah. So, and then I just
Like I
kept
said,
going,
I'm-
and then
I'm
like
coming
season
to the
1
end of
came out.
season
Season
one,
2
but-
came out, was even more crazy. I still think season 1 is the best. But season 2 was crazier, but I don't know if I would say it a better way. It just kind of like took it. And then season 3 is it's its own thing. It's interesting. So yeah. It's
I look forward to it.
it's
Like I said,
different. It's very different.
I don't keep up with a lot of like modern shows or whatever people are buzzing about. I haven't seen any Stranger Things. I haven't seen any Better Call Saul. I haven't seen like a lot of things that like whatever the people at the water cooler at work or whatever, you know, are talking about.
Oh,
I live under a rock.
Victoria's
But-
saying there's supposed to be a Warhammer series coming. I would watch that.
Is it Warhammer Classic or 40K? I like Warhammer Classic.
I would.
but
Oh, I like
I would probably
40K.
watch. Most people do. 40K is more popular. Oh,
Yeah.
let's not even talk about the Wired Giacomo.
Although
It's
technically,
literally
be
the
saying
best show that's ever
Warhammer,
shown
then
up on
it
TV.
would have to be 40K because Warhammer Fantasy is not a thing anymore. It's now the Age of Sigmar.
Which I think is bullshit because
It's
I
not
was
40
only lightly
they're not,
involved
It's not
with
even
it.
Warhammer.
but
It's just Age of Sigmar. They
I have some Warhammer stuff, but I like Warhammer. I'm not huge into like fantasy genre, like dragons, wizards,
I like
whatever.
fantasy stuff, but yeah.
I'm not huge into it, but I like it. Like I'm not opposed to it. You know, I like Lord of the Rings. I like various things. Like it's a normal, understandable genre to me, right? Like that's fantasy. That's what D&D. You know, it's just what things are. That's fantasy. So I like Warhammer. 40K is a little bit more of a stretch and like more things that I'm not usually invested in. I'm not huge on sci-fi, and I love Eve, but I don't love Eve because I love space or any of these things. Like I love Eve for a various amount of reasons, but it was never to do with like the sci-fi aspects of space or anything. Which I have over time noticed that a lot of people who love Eve are into it for various space interests. Like they're big into the space program and like what's going on with satellites and launches. And like we've had these conversations about you know
James the
the-
Space
you know,
Telescope.
Exactly.
Tuesday. The first full color image pictures are coming out Tuesday. I'm excited for that.
I hope they make a big deal out of it. I'll be honest. I hope they do.
Well, they've been posting stuff all like NASA's been going nuts
Right.
posting stuff about
But
it.
I hope it's not just like a Twitter post. I hope they're like,
Oh, they're
Hey,
gonna be doing
hey
live
guys,
streams. I mean, they're
wanna
it's
see this
gonna
shit?
be- yeah, it's gonna be available. Also, Victoria's. So he's talking about, or maybe. Oh wait.
so
Oh,
Giacomo
yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about The
yeah,
Wire for a minute, which
yeah.
is, in my opinion, The Wire is, in my opinion, the best show I've ever seen on TV.
Really?
It is an HBO series. It was five seasons, if I recall. It is the best show I've ever seen. And HBO I think it's kind of cool. They reuse a lot of characters, and some of those characters are actually in this Amazon series, funnily enough. I think I saw one or two anyway. But like, I might be thinking of something else. But anyway, HBO is big on recycling their actors and stuff in a way that like movie houses would do, but it's HBO instead. So like, hopefully they're paying them well and they get on a lot of episodes. But The Wire is one of the most phenomenal shows I've ever seen. It's so good. And if you've never seen it, then get a free trial or to HBO or something to watch a few episodes.
Maybe. But Victorious was talking about the he was talking about a YouTube thing about Warhammer. He's talking about the Astartes series, which is really fucking good. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
I have not.
So he's talking about it was removed from what is it? It's not what's the company that owns Warhammer? It's not White Wolf. It's Games Workshop. Games Workshop hired him.
Right.
And he was saying his content was removed from his channel, and they then moved it to Games Workshop's stuff. So it is still there and available to watch. It's just not on that guy's channel anymore because now he works for Games Workshop, and they're like, we get these videos. They basically hired him with the caveat that they kind of bought those videos that he made from him. and took him into their employ. So they are still out there. They're just not on that guy's channel. They're really fucking good, though. I'm tempted to actually just play them. Like, if you have... do you know much about Warhammer 40k?
Me? No, I do not.
Uh,
I know a little bit about tabletop gaming in the sense of Warhammer because I saw it played a little bit, but it seems very intricate, and I always wanted to play it, but nobody in my friend circle
The
had
lore is
any
really
sort
good.
of that interest in like diving into tabletop gaming.
Yeah,
So I
well,
only ever
there's
saw
like,
it,
you don't
like,
even have to
played
dive
a
into
hobby sport.
tabletop. Like, I was very into Warhammer, but anytime it comes to any sci-fi or fantasy or anything like that, I get very into the lore a lot, which is weird because Eve is like the one exception where I never really got much into the lore. I know like some basic snippets, but
You don't need to know any of the lore to keep Eve going, but it's funny
But-
to me that a lot of people really know and respect the lore, and I'm like, oh, we had
but
that?
to me the
like,
lore
that's a thing?
to me the
I'm going to listen
the,
to you, but I'm going to run and go pee at the same time.
yeah,
Keep
yeah.
going.
So to me, the lore was the more important lore was like more of like what was going on with the different like player factions. You're like, what's going on with Goons? What's going on with this group? So the wars and stuff happening between these groups. That was more my lore. I wasn't really as much into the generated lore of the role playing side and the mission side, but when it comes to most other games or movies or just universes like Warhammer and stuff like that, I get very into the lore. And I mean, like Warhammer is like tons of the Black Library is like the name they have for like all the books that get published with their stuff. I've probably read like 30 to 40 plus Warhammer books. I haven't really fantasy. I never actually got much into, but or Age of Sigmar now. But man, all the Horus Heresy books and a ton of other ones, Gaunt's Ghosts and all that shit. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, so the Astartes thing. So you don't really need to know much lore with the Astartes other than just that Space Marines are Games Workshop's like they're the favorite son type of thing. You know, like they're Space
The
Marines.
Terran, they're the human race, they're the whatever
Well,
most
but
common, like
they're
default.
more than just Terran. They're superhumans. They're basically like humans.
No,
that
I
have
know.
been,
I'm just
like,
saying
super evolved.
The
with, like, these
default
different
race, any
genomes.
like RTS, like sci-fi based RTS you play,
Yeah.
they're going to be like the default guys.
Yeah,
They're
so
the
like, there's the
human-based.
Imperial Guard, which are like normal humans, and then there's the Adeptus Astartes,
Oh,
the
okay.
Space Marines. They are like superhuman, genetically enhanced superhumans. They have like multiple hearts. They have multiple various organs. They are immune to poisons. Their blood clotting is like superhuman. Like they can get their arm cut off, and their blood will clot their arm to where they won't lose much blood.
Almost
after
like
that.
carterized.
Yeah, like I mean, like and
Beautiful.
they are huge. They're usually like about 7 or 8 feet tall on average, I think. They are massive. They're basically like take a human, turn them into like a pseudo Hulk superhuman. That's the Adeptus Astartes.
Cyclone B.
Yeah. So
Cyclone A? I don't know what it's called.
so the Astartes series is basically about, and they're basically like the super shock troopers going into and like the Astartes series is so good because like the various weapons, like the bolter is like the general weapon of the Astartes, and I think it's like a 70 caliber, 75 caliber, rocket propelled explosive bolt round, and it's like rapid fire, so it's like boom, 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 boom,
Wow,
boom.
yeah.
Like imagine like, you know, like the Saving Private Ryan when
Make
they
it rain.
they wheel the big cannon up by the tank and they're like boom, 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 and like, the people on the tank trying to get into the tank start exploding into body parts. Basically, turn that into like a handheld.
I feel like that was a bullet based thing, not an artillery based thing, but I might be misremembering.
Well, I'm saying they basically wheeled up a 30 millimeter cannon and started
Yeah.
aiming at the tank.
Like
and
the little motorcycle cart thing or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the wheeled thing, and like the people that were on the American side of the Saving Private Ryan, they're trying to get into the tank and like take the tank out, and the Germans wheel that little artillery piece like 30
just start
millimeter
chewing
and
through
just start
people.
going do onto the cannon. The people like their heads pop off, arms pop off.
Yeah.
Imagine taking that type of cannon and make it handheld, and these are the guys that are carrying them, just going boom, 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 boom. Like that's basically what they're carrying.
I bet they have strong shoulders.
They're huge. But yeah, so it's hold on, I'm gonna find this thing because it's so good actually. Because it's a standalone thing. You really don't need to know the lore as much behind it. Some of the stuff you'll see, they're like, oh, who are those guys? What's going on? You don't really have to know what's going on other than the fact that it's like it's a rebel faction that the Astartes are coming in to take care of, and they take care of them thoroughly. You get to see like the superhuman power of it, but it's so well animated. The sound is amazing. So I'm gonna find it. Here we go. Astartes Project. Original version, all parts. Wait, full edit. What does that mean? It says original version. We'll go with this. I think this is good. Do I not have a YouTube? Okay, hold on. I have to add a YouTube capture. There we go. We're just gonna watch this.
Are we gonna watch the originals first, or are you just gonna skip me across this
I
waiver
think
that I'm
this
seeing on my
is the
screen?
originals. Yeah, this is just the originals. He's basically
Why
saying
would they
watch-
put that on there if that was the original? Drayden, you're about to ruin this for me. You're gonna spoil it.
No. It's the same versions. He's basically saying watch it from the original source, but the original source was the guy that made these as a free project.
Is this a 13-minute video?
Was then hired by Games Workshop, but when they hired him, they made him take his videos down and put them on their own site. They basically bought his work off of it.
Took over the intellectual property or whatever.
Yeah, so I don't care. Like back before that happened, I would have been like, yeah, let's go to his channel. But now it's like, you know what? Games Workshop is actually a pretty shitty company. They're kind of like Blizzard. They're kind of a shitty company.
I've read a lot over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, I really.
We're talking about that in a world of 3D printing. They're still trying to like make just a real gougey hobby. And I think if I'm not saying you should encourage people to pirate or 3D print your pieces, because that's tabletop gaming, whatever pieces they have to sell them. But it's like, look, if you made things a little bit more encouraging and like leaned into like, we want this to be huge. We don't want this to be gatekept behind cost. We want a ton of people to play this.
It's not just
You'll
that,
make a fuckload of money.
They're also just kind of shitty to their employees, and they're very sketchy
I think
and all
that's the
that
case.
stuff. So I really don't care if this is pirating off of Games Workshop at this point.
Fair enough.
So that's what he was basically.
Yeah, go ahead. Wait, real quick, are we gonna watch this full 13-minute video, or are you showing us a highlight?
Full 13. It's the
Are
whole.
you really
thing.
gonna show us this?
Yes.
Okay, I'm buckling in.
All right, so that's that.
So, real quick, is that like
So there's no words.
community made kind of thing?
That was one guy made that, and it was a fan project. He just
Okay,
made that
so-
on his own.
Wow.
Yeah, like really impressive. And then that's why Games Workshop is like, your cinematic is actually kind of better than anything we've made for a while. You want to work for us? So
That was impressive.
and so things like it's entertaining on its own. Now, if you don't, the fact that there's no dialogue whatsoever.
I don't know a lot of context.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff there that it's like if you know the Warhammer 40K universe and stuff, you're like, oh, you kind of know what's going on there. Like, but if you don't, then you don't. So there could be some explaining that might make you a little more knowledgeable in depth. But all in all, it's a fun video. It's like you got these superhuman troopers. It's obviously some kind of rebel heretic human group that they're out to purge. The two Psyker
Empire
guys
versus Rebels. Sure.
So the two Psyker guys are like obviously the head honchos. They're like the most powerful. So in the game, you can have like officers that have like you can have Psykers that have like various stuff. They're not quite in the game. Psykers have some pretty powerful abilities. They can kill some Space Marines, but like they're not going to stand up to Space Marines like those ones did. If a Space Marine gets in melee combat with a Psyker, they're probably fucking dying right then and there. But unless they get a lucky like 5+, or 4+, save roll. But anyway, it's a cool cinematic. And the fact that the one guy did everything, he did like the animation, the sound design, everything, like all of it. He did all that stuff on his own.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
I was gonna say a few, but quite a few years ago, I think now, someone made a trailer for a suggested like next Mortal Kombat, and it was like a fan based thing that I think they a little bit either crowdsourced or something, but it had pretty respectable production value for the trailer that they made.
Real quick,
and people like banded it behind it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was in Mervarium in chat. So I will give you the link that we just watched. It's actually technically not the original link because the original link, the guy that made it had it on his YouTube channel, but he got hired by Games Workshop and they made him take it down off his own channel, even though he made it, and they basically took it as theirs property now, and it's on their website. But I think they've done this whole thing where like you have to subscribe to their website to watch a lot of content of theirs. So basically, they took his work as a fan project and hid it behind a paywall on their own website. So fuck them. So this is someone else that re-uploaded it on YouTube, and apparently it hasn't been taken down yet. So
I like the idea of Warhammer
So-
and Warhammer 40k. I've only ever seen them
So-
played. I've never played them.
yeah,
But I
so-
like also the idea that 3D printing will hopefully kill those companies and people will actually just use their games and have fun.
Yeah, so
That's
my
what
thing
it
is, it's
sounds
like that's why I say, like, I used to watch it on that guy's channel, and it's like I would recommend, like, yeah, support that guy. But now that Games Workshop essentially stole his work and put it behind a paywall, fuck Games Workshop. Watch it on that YouTube channel right there. You can, like, I have no problem pirating stuff from Games Workshop.
Right.
Because
It's my opinion. It's
they're
worse
a
than
shiesty
Lego.
company.
At this
they're
point,
like Blizzard. They're a very shiesty company, like Blizzard, essentially. So I don't really care if you circumvent their paywalls. So.
I think Lego is still a very wholesome company, but I think their stuff has gotten overpriced because that's just where the world is.
I mean,
But in my
Capitalism.
opinion, like in the greater scope of things, I still think very high thoughts of Lego as a company. But
yeah.
in my mind, it's just, I don't know. There was a similar mentality and I lost it just this moment. But do what you need to do. Enjoy people's content. I think it's shitty that they've done what they've done,
Oh,
but I
time to
understand it from a
ban
corporate
someone.
standpoint. Oh, fun. What'd you get?
Where's the ban?
Oh, I see it. Yeah, want to be famous?
Yeah, it was
How did you know? I've been trying for ages.
Random person shows up and broadcasts. You want to buy followers? Go to this webpage. Yeah. ban
No, I
your
meant
ad.
how did he know that I wanted to be famous? This guy's speaking to me, Drayden. Like, why'd you ban him from chat?
Fucking bots, man. How do they find us?
This is not a popular show, so I'm always flattered when I see that.
Right. Like, oh,
This
you
is
send-
very low-hanging
you
fruit.
send bots to our channel? Anyway, it's almost 10. I'm gonna probably head to bed.
I love that it's almost 10 there. God, time zones are up, bitch.
Yeah.
Like
Pacific
it's
Coast, West
respectively
Coast.
late here, but yeah, I'll accept that for the sake of time zones. I respect your.
All right. Yeah, we'll be back next week though. So catch you guys all later. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
Night, folks. Night, Drayden.